mentioned. Yeah, I think we've
That's
briefly
it,
met
bro.
before.
Yeah.
And hello.
Just wanted to say, like, even though I said in message, I thought it was hilarious. Yeah, I found that on like a like on trans Twitter. Like it's very much appreciated, so to speak.
I love that. I haven't showed Edgar yet, so I'll just show him.
Of course, as soon as
Alrighty.
my camera goes
I
funny.
sent her this picture.
Girl did.
Oh, I want to see it now.
Oh, you'll see it.
I don't know if this will work.
I'm gonna try and find a way to put the image.
Ah! Ah! Nice. That was very nice.
Hey, you guys want to hear a funny story? That I don't think BB knows this story. I think Deb knows it. I'm not sure about Sabrina. So, I first started working at this company, and I'm stealth, right? Now, two people know. The guy I was working with, that still works there, and my boss. Because I didn't want her to get, somebody come up here and like freaking out because they figured it out or something, and her to be blindsided. She was like, I don't care. Are you going to do your job? And I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
She was like, we're fine. So, but she's really sweet to me, and she's she's a great lady. It's like Aunt Sharon. Like, she's like that. But don't piss her off. But I don't fuck up, except for a couple of times I had an attitude. So she gets along with me really well. But anyways, so I'm second week working with this guy out on the road, fourth week at the company. And him and I are joking around, just, BS and weather, right? And I said some smart ass comment, and he said, sorry about your little dick, bro. And I said, yeah, man, it is really small. And he was like, and he like looked at me, and he never mentioned it again. Never mentioned it again, right? So now it gets funnier. So I go to Louie, who's the guy I was just recently working with that whined about me after one argument over a 4-day period. Anyways, I go to him and I'm like, hey, man, I have to tell you what happened. It was really funny. And he's like, what? And I said, fucking Ian said to me, oh, sorry about your little dick. And I said, yeah, man, it sucks. It is little. And I looked at him like deadpanned it. And I said, he believes it, Louie. And Louie went like this, right? And I said, some of us are a grower, not a shower, man. That's just the way it is. And he goes, it's true, man. It's true, right? So he was like, we're laughing at Ian behind his back, right? And I got a 3-way joke going because nobody knows I'm trans at the time, right?
Oh my gosh.
So then eventually Ian's like, oh man, we better check with Sharon, like with this. Oh no, I know what it was. He kept picking on me about my height. Always my height. Because I'm so short. He's so tall. He's only 5'9". He's not. I'm like, dude, my nephew is 6'6". You are not tall to me, you fucking punk. You got 3 inches on me, 3.5 inches, and you're acting like you're the question. So fucking tall. He's 30-year-old, acts like he's 12. Anyways, so he kept like picking on me, and I was like, dude, when have I ever picked on you? And he's like, what? You pick on me all the time? I said, no. When have I ever said anything about your body, the way you look, how you were born, what race you are, anything? And he goes, you never have. And I said, right. So can you stop fucking picking on me? He's like, oh, what the big deal is? And I was like, dude, I'm fucking trans. And he goes, oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry. I said, but that's not the point. I shouldn't have had to go that far to tell you. You should have stopped and respected me 2 weeks ago when I said something about it. 3 weeks ago. So I had to say that to get him off my back. But then I looked at him and I said, and he kind of like, it got quiet for a minute, and we're just driving down the road, and he's just driving. He's not saying a fucking word, right? Because he feels like a dickhead. And I said, now you know why the dick joke's so funny to me. And he went, oh shit. And he just lost it. So I said, now the funny thing is I told Louie about the joke. So right now he thinks he's laughing at you behind your back, but he doesn't know I'm trans, but you do. So now you can laugh at him. He cracked up again. So I had like a 6-way joke going by the end of it. I just had them all like this in a little, I told Javi about it. I said, oh yeah, Ian said I had a little dick, blah, blah, blah. And I made him feel like an ass. And he was like, dude, that's hilarious. Right. So yeah.
I love that.
One thing I really specifically like about this situation, which I know is a weird
Fucking
thing to
hilarious.
highlight, but one thing I really like about the situation is you confronted him, told him something very personal to like really show the seriousness of it. But then you had that in your back pocket to cut the tension, and basically he learned his lesson, but you removed the possibility of you removed the awkwardness by that. It's like, now you know why the dick joke was so funny. It's just like, just all tension's gone there. That was gold. That's gold. I fucking love it.
Thank you. That was part of the funny part of it, though. That's what I've told the story twice now, and I just crack up laughing because I made myself laugh that fucking hard. I
That's so
literally
funny.
cracked myself up. Mark says, Beck, did you get a whole lot of satisfaction from being trans and not being picked? Oh, not being pegged is what you mean. Pegged for it? Yes, I do. It's very fucking affirming. And when I told
I didn't
Deb I was
know.
trans for the first time, she was like, do what? I said, I'm trans. I'm a trans guy. And she was like, fuck you say.
I did. It's
And-
exactly what I said. Fuck
And
you,
she
Fred.
goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't. I said, no. That is the most affirming thing you can do in the whole world is say, oh, I always thought you were a guy. When I came out as being trans, there were like 6 or 8 ish, maybe 10. I'm not sure, but say 6 to 8 to be safe. People in the big part of the community, not in ours, but community as a whole, that said, oh, I thought you were a guy this whole time. And I was like, cool. And they're like, sorry. I'm like, no, we don't be sorry. Fucking keep it up, baby. I like it.
I remember when I first
Brittany has
met
told
you,
me-
or actually,
Hold on.
we didn't meet
Oh,
at this time because I was seeing you in after shows for Neil's stuff.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
And so motherfucker, roach dropped right in front of me. Sorry. I got a lot of bugs. Anyway, I
apparently.
remember.
You need those plug-in thingies.
Nope, not gonna work. I looked into it. I got German cockroaches. They don't give a fuck about those things.
Carry on.
Yeah, I was doing some research on that. Anyway, right. Yeah, so I was seeing you there, and I still can't remember what you sounded like, but I do recall because this is either when you were early on T or before you were on T. I don't know how long ago when I first saw you it was.
Yeah.
And then I met you again, and like I knew in my head that you're the same person, but I still entirely forgot basically anyway. And well, I can't remember if I knew you were trans at the time or just a guy with a higher voice kind of thing. Because like at that point
Yeah.
your voice was very androgynous. It wouldn't have pegged you one way or the other.
My voice was always androgynous.
Yes.
Like,
okay,
in
it was always
school-
that way. Okay.
In school, like, you know how, like, oh, you get to that age, puberty, boys go down, girls go up. I went down. And when we came back to
What was your
school
voice?
after summer, the chorus teacher said, oh, hold on. We got to move you. And I was like, oh, yeah, my voice changed. She's like, yeah, you need to move down by the guys. And I was like, oh, okay. So she stuck me down by the altos. And
Interestingly affirming. It's like even
oh,
though
well, back then I was trying to hide it. So I was like,
well, yeah. No, I'm thinking hindsight though. Like, like a lot of things where you look back at moments in your life, it's like because I still get imposter syndrome. I still get like trans imposter syndrome a lot. I try to. I know it's fine. Like it's hard sometimes. But like I would be looking back at moments in my life, and if you will, maybe I would look back at moments in my life and be like, "Some ADHD. I can't. Oh, I can't fucking." Anyway,
fuck you, Mark.
I look back in moments of my life and be like, "Oh yeah, I guess validating." And then with you, it's like boys' voices dropped, girls' voices went up. Your voice dropped because you're a boy. Like,
well,
this is
yeah,
what it is.
I know, right?
Okay, BB. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. 2 things. Sabrina, you're sexy. You sexy
Thank
lady.
you.
Another thing, Edgar wanted to tell Beck something.
No, Jer, we don't know what you're talking about. What's
Hey.
up, Edgar?
Yeah, dude. Brittany's told me about, some of the transgendered members of the community, but I'm terrible with names, so I never even made the connection until you mentioned it like
Oh,
a minute ago. Like
Yeah.
I had no.
well, thanks, brother. I
fucking
appreciate
idea.
that. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Edgar,
I
don't
love it.
feel bad. I was flirting my ass
Like
off.
walking around like,
I was being all,
tonight.
like, oh, Beck, yo, me and me, we could, we're flirting, having a great old time. And then it was like 2 or 3 days later, somebody said he was trans, and I was like, he's what?
No, I told you.
Was he told me he was trans.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
told you. Because she kept, and I thought we were just joking around.
no,
right? And then she
I
was
was
like,
dead serious.
no, I'm in a poly relationship, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, really? And then I'm like, wait a minute. I should probably disclose this.
So he tells
Considering
me
it's
that.
everywhere and she might find out anyways, I think I should. No, I tell everybody anyways.
So he tells me this, right? And I'm like, well, all right, well, whatever. Until the next second I'm flirting with him again because it doesn't make a bit of fucking difference to me. And then
You're masculine and hot, and I'm in.
it's seriously, right?
Oh.
Yeah. But then it dawned on me, I just can't think that I would ever be like just strictly attracted to men ever. You know what I mean? Like
Getting all
different.
rich.
It's just weird, but yeah, no, he was awesome. I was just like, the fuck you say? I had no idea. No idea. However,
I'd call Beck daddy, so.
Well, what's
Wait a minute. Did I tell you I'm a daddy? Did you know
no,
that?
but that's what he just said. He said, I call Beck daddy.
Damn. How you doing?
Told you was a sexy
wasn't
guy.
I the one who
What the fuck is
for a
going
brief
on
period
here?
of time
My
I
face is so red. I'm gonna go shave.
start
Secure my
that?
masculinity. I'm gonna go shave.
Hey, Deb, do you remember when I kind of like soft started that and then I got you to say it and then you said it when he was around?
Oh no,
Daddy Beck stuff.
the daddy back stuff. And you know what though? I took it to a whole new level on a personal field. So we'll
Oh,
leave it at
I'm sure.
that.
I'm sure.
But yeah, daddy back. Yeah, exactly. It's so much fun.
Good
I'm
time.
with Mark. Sometimes I have such a hard time with this, and it's terrible. I'm sorry. I'm going to show this one.
Oh my God.
You read this.
That's different connotations.
He said just not Uncle Daddy. Around here,
That's
has
an
different
interesting
colors.
comment, Ox, because at the end of the day, if you see yourself as a man and you see Beck as a man, because well, he is, that might be gay, maybe. The only thing that wouldn't make you gay is if you're bi or pan or something like that, like myself. Though I would say it's funny, I say I'm pan, but I also identify as a transbian because I'm mostly for girls. But it's funny actually. One of my friends that I talk with a lot, she called me out on something. She's like, "It seems like you're significantly more interested in guys." I'm like, "What? Like, why do you say this? Like, you seem to be like when you talk about guys that you're attracted to, you're always so much more excited." I'm like, I mean, my rationale is much more of a novelty for me because I've never really explored this. But
Could be.
I always thought the same thing too. I thought that I was a lesbian, and then I don't know how Edgar happened. He just happened.
Lesbian with a side of it.
A lesbian with a side of it.
Yeah, you know what?
And then-
I asked her that. I said, well, wait a minute, I'm confused. Aren't you married? She goes, yeah. She goes, I'm a lesbian, but then there's Edgar. Edgar makes a difference. Yeah. I was like, ooh.
Okay. Manliness back. I'm ready.
Yes. So, would you rather I still call you BB or should I call you Britt?
You can call me BB. You can call me whore. You can call me what you want.
I'm not gonna call you that because I still,
BB's like,
as much as some people are like
so,
that, I still
bitch,
prefer the respect thing.
So,
regardless, so BB,
asshole, yeah.
I almost forgot what I was.
Uh-oh.
Okay, no, I remember. The thing is, before I was out as trans, so to myself that is, so before I acknowledged that I'm a woman, I referred to myself as straight with an asterisk.
I love that. 10 out of 10.
Yep.
I
And
have to put
it's
that-
one of my most.
Yeah, I put that up when you were gone.
I don't see the difference, Ox. What the
I don't
hell is
either.
that? It's the
Well, I mean, that's
same
what I was
thing.
kind of
If you're
getting
gay
at.
for me, just say you're gay for me, bro.
Ain't
Yeah,
nothing
that's
wrong with
fine.
it.
Never
Well, the-
know. I might get drunk one night in North Carolina. Fuck, you don't know what's gonna happen.
He said it's an experience. Everything's evolving.
Shit happens, man.
Oh, yeah, my
Crazy
husband,
shit happens. I woke up one time. I was drunk on Jaeger, and I airplane dove onto the couch,
I love
and
that.
I was sleeping, and all of a sudden, like, well, I think I might have gone backwards. I don't remember. I don't know. I got on the couch twice. The second time I didn't get up. We were doing Jaeger bombs for hours. Oh my god! And I was smoking pot. I was like, so anyway, so I woke up and my shirt's up and my pants are down, and I have one up here and one down there. And I was like, just for a split second, I was like, oh hell no! I have a girlfriend. I'm in love. Holy shit! Oh my god! And I was so afraid that like something would happen and Jen would find out. This is back when I was with Jen. Jen was the first love of my life, and we still love each other like crazy. And she's getting married soon, and we're best friends. But anyways, so recently I went and I said to her, "Hey, do you remember when blah 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 blah?" She's like, "Yeah." And I said, "Man, let me tell you what happened that night." So I told her the truth. And she was like, I knew something happened. And I said, you did? And she goes, yeah, because you like called me drunk and was like, baby, I love you. And I was like, did I really? And she goes, yeah, it was like 2:00 in the fucking morning. And I said, that's when that happened. Because I had crashed a little after 1. And about an hour later, they just decided they were going to have their way with me. While their husbands were standing outside going, hell yeah, do it.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure
Yeah,
they were. Actually.
Their husbands were all like,
I have mixed feelings about that last.
Oh, see, I'm a voyeur. I'm a total voyeur. I will watch it. It's no problem whatsoever.
I mean, that's okay if all parties are consenting. I didn't know what was going on. I was not consenting.
You're like, damn it,
if you can't
like
consent when you're
I wasn't
wasted.
like a dude and women were doing that and they didn't stop, you know, I mean, I just couldn't call like rape or anything on that because it was kind of hot, but oh, I was like, yeah, lady, no. What are you Fuck. Yeah, she said I called her and I said, you want to hear the rest of it? And she goes, what? And I said, somehow, I don't know if they gave me more to drink or maybe the alcohol caught up with me more and I was more drunk than I thought. But I woke up in bed with Pam and her husband. He was on the other side and I was sleeping on her side. And I looked at her and I went, and she's sitting there, she's awake and she's like this, looking at him and looking at me like this. And I wake up and I'm like, what the fuck happened? She goes, nothing. I said, you fucking, I swear to God, Pam. She said, nothing, Beck, nothing. You told me off pretty much. And I get it. And then you stripped your clothes off and I said, and then you were following me around naked, so I just put you in bed with me. And I said, okay, fair enough.
Oh my God.
I mean, I'm not a shy
that doesn't
person,
sound
and
sus
she knows
at
that.
all.
Like, I'll just strip off my clothes.
That doesn't sound what, Stevie?
Sus.
No, not at all, right?
But I told Jen all that. She laughed. She thought it was hilarious. And I said, do you think you would have been bad back then? She goes, well, maybe for a minute. But, I mean, she said, that's just a fucking ridiculously funny story. I couldn't stay mad at you.
It is crazy.
So, Edgar,
I finally told that happened in 2008. And I just told her this year when I talked to her.
wow.
Yeah. I just said, you know what I never told you about?
So, Edgar, my husband saw Beck for the first time, like, because we have rules with the polyamory and stuff, but he says, he looks, oh, no, he's totally your type. Totally looks like somebody guy you go for, da, da, da. Well, I told him later on that Beck was trans. And he's like, he's still a pretty fucking good looking man. I know, right?
That's because I look like a younger version of him. That's why he's saying that. We kind of look alike.
So funny
We have
because
the same general features.
and he's actually younger than you, Beck.
Yeah.
Oh, younger man.
48.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because he's like, 48. That's right.
Interesting
Oh, I was
thing.
going to say real quick. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I was going to say,
Sabrina's always
this is a conversation we had before. I no longer believe that I'm a lesbian. I believe that I'm pansexual because recently wiener has interested me. So
Go Edgar.
now
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry, buddy. I couldn't resist. I'm just so happy for you.
That's fucking awesome.
I mean, BB, I kind
Oh,
of knew
fuck,
that,
buddy. I
considering
love
what you
you
sent
guys.
me. I
guys are
figured you'd like. Anyway,
You guys have such a good sense of humor. I fucking love
good
it.
time.
Oh,
Yeah, we're
boy.
kind of just
Ah.
stoner.
There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing.
Substances.
One substance.
I wish I could have been.
3.
Okay, 3 substances.
Wait a
Wait,
minute.
I'm open sexual. That's
Weed,
funny.
alcohol, tobacco.
Hold on, what
Okay,
is-
4
what-
substances, my medication.
What video?
Maybe he's
I
just
think
being
Mark's
funny.
fucking with you.
Why
You
is
gotta
he
help me out.
fucking
I'm not
with you?
Canadian. I don't know what's going on.
He's fucking with you.
He probably is.
This is
I'm
classic
open
Canadian
sexual.
fuck
I don't
with-
like the cookware sexuality label. Yeah, you know, I've always had problems with all that. And I have a question, okay? So we have some trans people wandering around. We got non-binary. We got whatever, right? So we have a pretty good mix here. So here's a good time to ask this. So my thing is this. Once my transition is complete and I have both my surgeries, then I'm not transitioning anymore.
Yeah.
So then I'm not really under the umbrella because I'm not gay.
Oh fuck.
Because if you're totally transitioned, you're not transitioning. You were.
Yes, but you're not called trans because you're transitioning. You're called trans because you're transgender as opposed to cisgender.
Right, but once
So you'll
I
still
am
be
done,
you'll still be
Fuck
you'll
that.
still be transgender though.
yeah, but I've always felt I'll just be what I always felt like. So
Mhm.
I'm kind of cisgendered because I'm not gay.
I never
So
thought about it that
once
way.
that
I don't
once
know, you
the
know,
once the observable parts are changed, that's all that's left. I've
whatever
always
makes
been
you
me.
You can
feel
definitely
the
be
most
cis-assumed.
valid.
You can definitely be.
I don't know, I
cis-het
just thought it
assumed.
was
There's
an
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's an interesting
sorry,
thought.
so-
I never thought about it.
Hold on, say that again, Sabrina. I missed that.
Oh, like you can definitely be cishet assumed. Like there's nothing wrong. I don't see any.
See, I didn't
issue
even
with
know that was a
whatsoever.
term. See what I mean, Deb? I never even heard that term.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Where'd that one
This
come
is
from?
not a common. This is not a common one.
Okay, touche.
So, but I will explain where I learned it and why I prefer it over some of the others. And so
Say it one more
the
time.
normal term is like passing. Like that's what we understand. Like the idea of like
Right.
passing, and this alternative would be cis assumed in the context of
Cis assumed. Okay.
cis assumed. What I got this from was a. You know what? I'll actually show you guys. So let me find. Where the fuck did I
Yes.
put it?
Amen, Mark.
Probably right
Oh,
in
by the
front
way,
of me.
Mark.
Oh,
the
it's in
only
front of
reason
me.
you didn't- Only reason Mark didn't have a link, Deb, is because I don't have him on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
So you'll have to send him one if he wants to come in. Anyways,
Well,
Okay.
how would I do that?
My image doesn't get reversed, does it? Or actually, let's see.
for gender affirming primary care, trans and non-binary patients. Nice.
Yeah. So this is made by Sherburne Health. The
Okay.
specific subgroup is Rainbow Health Ontario. So this is basically, it's one of like the leading university hospitals, and they have like the subdivision which is specifically for Rainbow Health, so basically queer health.
Right.
And so they made this. This is basically a set of guidelines that they produced as sort of a standardization, because there's no standardization for like either prescribing or whatever the case may be, because the medications that we use for transitioning are that is not a labeled indication for those drugs. So
Yep.
among other things, that was the main reason why I got it. Among other things, that's what this is useful. Now, this is predominantly more geared towards like prescribers and physicians and those kinds of care team. But I picked it up because I picked it up before I knew I was trans, by the way. I picked it up because I wanted to take care for my own trans patients, and then I came out as trans. So
Wait a second. I resonate with this information.
anyway,
Real quick.
yeah?
Real quick. Anjur, it's my point is that I've never been a female, and I was born with the wrong parts. That's really what it is. Because even my brother, like when I came out as being a lesbian, he goes, "Oh, cool! It's like I got a little brother." He goes, "Wait a minute, I've always had a little brother. What am I talking about? You've been a guy your whole life." And I'm like, "Right."
Wow, your brother. Wow, that kind of
Oh,
validation
yeah,
from your
he
brother,
knew it.
right?
Oh, my brother Richard, him and I we're thick as thieves.
I like Richard. Like I
We
met him
are
for the first time the other
half-
day. I really like him.
He's amazing. We are half exactly the same, and half. What the fuck are you talking about? Because he's religious and I'm not. So maybe it's a quarter and a quarter, but him and I are like, we like know each other. You know what I'm saying? Like inside out, we've worked together. You know, it's not just like brother, but like we can work in a team and we work well together and it's smooth and we understand each other. And look, see, Edgar's nodding his head because he knows that doesn't always work when you work with people. Sometimes people will drive you at the fucking wall and you can't do anything with them. But you jive with someone and you figure out what each other's doing and you just go and like he'll be doing something and I go grab that wire he needed and hand it to him. He's like, "Thanks." You know, goes back to it because I know he needs that wire. You know, I've done enough with
So
it.
y'all, anybody who's in the chat, please.
Anyways,
there's a link in the private chat, so if you want to come in. And I'm sorry, Edgar, I cut you off.
My whole point was that I don't like those labels. Someone mentioned labels up there. I hate fucking labels. Why do we have to use 500? I'm just a guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's me. I'm just a guy that has a huge fucking teddy bear heart. That's all.
Yeah. And
so I just don't
say,
like all the labels either.
Yeah, I can appreciate the dislike of labels. I would say that the utility of labels is more because some people have a hard time.
You're right.
Really grasping stuff about themselves, or really understanding things about themselves without something kind of concrete that they can grab onto to use as an exploration. I mean, that is myself insofar as like I had a hard time really exploring a lot of these things until I had some ideas to grasp onto and having a word for specific concepts.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, as I've wait, what?
Nothing. I did something dumb.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. As I like this notwithstanding, but like, as I grew up, I was known as having a really big vocabulary for my age, and I guess I always have. But I would always explain it as like I'm looking for more words. The reason I'm looking for more words is because I want to find things to describe how I feel and like describe the concepts, and the words we have aren't precise enough, or the words I know aren't precise enough. So I try to find more words so I can find more precise ways to demonstrate the ideas I have in my head. And so I'm always looking for words. And so with this, it was just kind of a natural thing. I grabbed onto these labels and these words because it helps me understand. Anyway, to the actual point I was going to mention, as far as that terminology coming out, is in that book. There's basically a glossary of terms, a whole bunch of different things. It brings up things like passing and whatnot, and they also bring up this alternate term, cis assumed, and the rationale behind it is because there's passing as an idea, as a word, it's like a tiny bit fraught. One of the issues is it kind of implies that it's a goal, or it's what you should be going for. You should
instead of
be
just being yourself.
Instead of just being yourself, exactly.
Yes.
And so rather than use passing, they use cis assumed or het assumed in the case of like assuming gay or straight kind of thing, because in that situation it is, at least from the way I read it and the way that they're wanting to use it, one, it sounds a little bit more professional. But it removes this idea that is what you should be doing, and it's just simply one way of being. Is you're in this position that they assume you are cis. If that's what you want, great. If that's not what you want, that's fine too. We're only talking about everyone else's assumptions about you.
There we go, Edgar. Perfect.
Yeah, you.
Oh my gosh,
listening,
Edgar.
Sabrina. It's very
Unfortunately,
important what you're saying.
Edgar,
I fucking love you, bro.
I do like this. I thank you for addressing that, Edgar. You're not wrong. It still does kind of imply a degree of deception, which I actually think, especially if you understand what the term passing means, that implied deception is present in both terms. And it's just kind of an unfortunate reality based on the fact that people are going to, if they're not given reason otherwise, they're going to assume you're cis because they assume cis is the norm. And so people, insofar as our society is structured to force everyone to be deceived insofar because you're making assumptions. And so if that assumption is wrong and no one corrects you, that's a deception. Rather than structuring society where people stop assuming these things and it's just like, I know a person, I don't know if they're trans or cis, I don't care until it is made relevant to me or until they want to tell me about it or whatever the case may be.
Right.
But I do appreciate like you highlighting that, Ensure. Like it's still not perfect. It's still a little bit inelegant. I find I like it better than passing. And so if I'm talking about this with other people, one thing is it's also it's fairly clear what it means. Like if you think about it for like 5 seconds, it's like cis assumed. You're assumed to be cis. Like it's not like a completely new word. It's made up of already existing words. If you already know what cis means, or trans for that matter, and I assume most people would know what the word assume means, you can pretty much figure out what that implies. But in the case of passing, not everyone would necessarily know exactly what it means to be passing unless it's explained to them. Like you might be able to intuit, but it would take a bit more time to intuit what passing is.
You know,
there's no such thing as normal.
Ox, you know normal. We're in America. We're in America. So in America, normal is you look kind of like a white guy from Texas with a gun rack and a rebel
You're
flag.
wrong. You're absolutely wrong.
Flag.
That's not what normal is.
And you have to be driving a Ford. And huge cowboy hat. And really exaggerated long toes on your cowboy boots. And I'm sorry, Sabrina, what were you saying?
Oh, I was going to make a bad joke topping that off.
And your truck
this is a joke. You're entirely wrong. That's not what normal is. Normal is a special category that includes.
I saw it coming. I fucking knew it. Goddamn normal motherfucker. Hell with you.
No. Normal.
Where's your cowboy boots? I need to see the long toe.
Best I got muck boots.
Oh,
well, that's
we're
close.
white trash.
That's
we're
more
not.
Texas than cowboy boots, anyways, with all the
Okay,
fucking
Sabrina,
cows
I'm
that
sorry.
are in
What
that
are you?
state.
No, it's fine. I was just being.
Oh,
I was going to make
echoing,
something
BB.
stupid. I'm saying normal is a specialized category to include all persons with various norm-related names. So the Normas, the Normans, and such like that. Those are normal people.
I love that.
When I hear
So my
someone
mom is
say
normal.
so and so
Yes,
is
sir.
passing, I hear so and so is successful at tricking everyone into thinking they're a real woman or man.
Yeah, and that's why I don't like it. That's why I don't like
I
it.
adore you, Edgar. Your sense of humor is freaking amazing. You guys are just awesome.
Now you got it all wrong there, Edward. What you gotta do is you gotta this guy killed Deb right here. What you gotta do now, you
No,
gotta
right
take
there,
that
yeah.
damn tiara thing you got and you put that on it like the band around it. That's how you wear that shit, man.
Oh, there we
That's
go.
what- yep,
there we
there you
go.
go.
There it is.
That's how you wear that shit. That's right. That's right. That's Texas right there, buddy. That's a horse show mixed with a beauty pageant for your kid right there.
Now, no kidding. Back when I was in high school and in the FFA.
Yep.
Oh, sorry,
Future
I'm
Farmers of America. We had them in West Virginia as well.
Shit, we had him in Southern California.
I played
So
Santa
They're
in
everywhere.
the Christmas parade float thing we had for the FFA.
Yeah.
I wore overalls, this hat, and a Santa hat over the. It had
That's
a perfect
perfect,
hillbilly Santa look.
absolutely. Do you hear him?
Tiara reminded me of that.
You hear the way he's speaking, Beth? That's
Yeah, I
an
know.
authentic accent there. He got an
Yeah, it
authentic
sure
one.
is. I'm gonna tell you something right now.
He
That
said
boy's real. That boy's real right now.
every time he says
Me,
he
I
uses
just
that
fake
that exaggerated accent of his, it just cracks me up.
That's why I do it. It makes Deb laugh.
Uh-huh. Hey, crazy cat.
Catnip!
Cat, my love.
Oh, Cat, I think Bibi wants you to come in and chat with us. She said she called you her love.
She misses you.
Hey, cat.
So Mark Caesar says, through meeting people at sexual parties, it struck me as very strange how many very masculine guys were gay or bi but felt they needed to hide. You have no idea about anyone until you know them. Yeah, and that's the truth. I have had truck drivers come up to me and say, I'm not gay. But when I'm out on the road, I stop at the rest areas and I blink my lights twice, and the gay guys come over and give you head for about $40, maybe $60.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, but you're not gay. And they're like, no, man, it's better head than any woman ever gave me. I can tell you that. The motherfuckers know what they're doing right there. I swear to God. And they were like, you understand. You're a lesbian. And I'm like, no, I don't understand. I don't want dick. You just said it. I'm a lesbian.
That's
That's how I
That's
identify
fucking
with that.
hilarious.
That's fucking
I love it.
Tell
hysterical.
me their stories of dick. And I'm like, I don't want to know.
I've heard about that shit
I'm not
before, and it's
gay,
so weird.
But man,
it's
men
real
are
fun.
hot.
Yeah, right? That's like the guy that says I do gay porn because he gets paid more than straight porn, but I'm not gay. No, I'm sorry, but you are. You just haven't come to realization of it yet. Come on now.
Now, what Ox said is this. You know, that speak you're spitting makes me laugh like a possum in a rain barrel. I'll shoot you a link, Catnip. Give me a minute.
With me, I'm
I'm not gay, my
not
boyfriend.
we're handling it. I'm not gay. My boyfriend is. Oh my God.
You know, the myth that only the bottom is gay is bullshit. The top is gay too. I'm sorry.
Well, the
Amen.
best way, and it may be a little graphic, so I apologize, but when I was younger, one of my favorite cousins in the whole world came out as gay, and so I was like, I was probably about 10, so I asked him flat out, how do you know you're gay? And he's like, well, I'll tell you what. He gave me this lovely little explanation, and I said, okay. Well, when I was older, it came back to him, and I said, no, seriously, how do you know you're gay? He says, well, I'll tell you what, Deb, this is how I knew. He goes, when you look at a woman's tits, does it turn you on? I said, no. He goes, well, when you think about your vagina, does being down there and up in somebody else's vagina turn you on? I go, no. And he goes, well, it doesn't do anything for me either. That's how I knew I was gay.
I knew that's what he was gonna say. I knew that's what he was gonna say.
Fantastic. Because I just really, it was the first time I ever had a relative come out and say they were gay, so I had no idea how to handle it or what to do with it. But God, it was funnier than hell.
When I worked at the chicken farm. I'm sorry, what, BB?
Oh, I was just gonna say that my experience was like completely different. Or I don't know, it wasn't completely different, but my experience with someone coming out as gay, like the first person for me, was my older brother, and he came out as gay in like the late 2000s before the 2010s.
Oh, I forgot to put that one up.
In Oklahoma. And he got assaulted. He got his car keyed. Like, he got all kinds of stuff just happened to him. And it was like one of those things that it wasn't like, we kind of had a similar conversation. How do you know you're gay? And he's like, you ever seen a man? And I say that because I just have so much respect for my older brother, because he could have said, because before he came out, he was really popular on the football team. Like, he was just a really popular, like preppy, whatever kind of guy. And then he came out and it ruined his life. It ruined his life. And now he lives with his boyfriend and he has a job and everything's great. But it just,
Wow.
for that time, I just have so much respect for my brother for being true to himself.
No, that's hats
That's
off,
good.
man. Hats off. Hats off. That's for
My
sure.
brother Walt came out in
It was bold. It was fantastic.
1990, and I came out in 2001 because I couldn't handle dating men. I just couldn't fucking do it. I was with a guy for 8 years. He was the nicest guy in the fucking world, and I was like, and I'm still not happy. So I need to quit doing this. So the next step I could take, instead of saying I really want to be a guy, because that's really what I wanted to say, but this was 21 years ago. So so I was still scared to say it, so I just told her I was a lesbian. And then the funny thing is, when I came out as being trans, my whole family were like, yeah, and
No, duh.
we knew you were a guy anyways. I don't know why you're telling us now. Like,
Yeah.
what took you so long? Like, it's so funny because when I came out as lesbian, they were like, okay. And now
Yeah,
they're like, duh.
It's like you say,
So-
oh, family, I'm trans. And like someone just hands each other money like they had bets.
I should have asked him, because you know what I did was I told the important, close to me people, like my brother and sister, blah, blah, blah. And then for everybody else, we have a group chat for like Christmas and Thanksgiving. Everybody just wishes each other happy, whatever. So I said, oh, hey, by the way, I'm changing my name. It's going to be Beck because I'm trans. And they were like, and I said, any questions, feel free to post them here or message me privately. And everybody was like, okay. And that was it. Okay. Like, they're just like, whatever. Like, you're just who you are. And you've always been like the joke in the family, honest to God, my previous name, I'll just say B because I went by B for fucking years. The joke in the family was, it wasn't Aunt B, it was Uncle B.
Okay.
And
So
my nieces were like, and I was like, oh, she said, I had met her daughter for the first time. Her daughter was like 4 years old, I think, or 5, maybe 6. But anyway, so I met her for the first time, and she goes, "Who is this?" And Aaron goes, "Oh, this is your great aunt B." And she kind of looks at me funny because she knows I look like a guy. She's not fucking stupid, And I said, "Or Uncle B," and Aaron goes, "No, not yet. Let's not confuse her. Let's save that for when she's older." And I'm like, okay. Because
already is
her
confused.
And Megan, it was the joke. It was Uncle B because I was always doing uncle stuff.
You made the child confused. You didn't unconfuse the child. It is confused.
No, she didn't hear me. She was already in the car.
Oh no,
She didn't.
No,
She didn't hear
I
me.
mean, like, introducing you as
She's like 10
Aunt
now.
B was the confusion.
Yeah.
Like, this is Aunt B.
And exactly. She looked at her mom like, what? And
like
looked at
she
me
was
like,
from Mars because she was acting like she was from Mars.
I don't see aunt. I see uncle. Like, what are you talking about right now?
Yeah, exactly.
Mom, that's a guy. What are you talking about?
Now, the funny thing is now she's going to have to go back and tell that kid, never mind.
Yes,
Uncle B was right. Now it's Uncle
B
Ben.
right. Yeah.
Like, well, I was trying to foreshadow, but nobody was letting me.
All right, I'm gonna have to take this off. I'm feeling a little too.
I'm a bit envious because thus far, well, actually, I don't know about my extended family. I don't know if they're surprised or not. But thus far, the family that I've come out to, that I've had long enough conversations about, so far everyone's been surprised. Like it's none of this like obviously kind of stuff. But obviously that doesn't mean it's invalid either. Like you don't need to be validated by your peers, by anybody, to still be like a trans person, because for some people they're better at hiding it than others, I guess. In my case, like I hid it pretty well from myself, and most of the people who weren't surprised were people who knew me, like who only knew me more recently, because in more recent years I've been much more emotionally open, especially since deconverting from Christianity. I've been much more emotionally open, so it's more like to people who've only known me like that, it's pretty obvious that
Uh-huh.
I'm at the very least queer. But for people who knew me back when I was like very deep in the closet, it's like I'm sure it's a big surprise. My
Deep.
mom had no idea.
I just
Um,
noticed you put it.
Yeah, I know. And she's looking sexy.
I didn't even. I just
Sexy
saw it
girl.
in there, and I was looking at Sabrina because she was talking, and then I look over and I'm like, oh, Edgar doesn't have it on anymore. Ox says, it's easier for a man to be gay than a woman because it's a genetic impulse for a guy to see a hole. We have a natural urge to stick something in it. Yeah, well, I can't argue with
All
you.
righty.
Can't argue with you there. But the problem is with me, I'm exactly like that. So I'm like, this will work.
I've never it's funny. There's so much hindsight stuff. Like, I've never understood these air quotes typical guy things. Like, I've always been so out of touch with my peers. I'm just like, what do you like? What? Like you measure your dicks? Like, why are you doing that?
Exactly. Why?
Yeah, like no. Just
I do
no.
stuff like spit.
Well, I'll spit because I have a bad taste in my mouth. I don't want to get it out. Like,
yeah, but I can imagine.
That's
like
the only thing.
Let's talk about spitting. Me spitting, right? Sabrina spitting.
Yeah, pretty much, probably.
Just how more feminine people do that. That's just why I know.
I don't
lean towards the feminine side. Do that.
I think I
Although my
identify
girlfriend
as
is
like
fit.
she, her, but I feel like I'm more. I don't know what I am. Just because, like, I get pleasure from being able to like drop into like a really deep voice.
Hey.
well
Damn,
done.
baby.
Well done. Well done.
Like, I like that, and
Oh yeah.
oh yeah.
That way.
And when I was little, whenever they put us in groups or whatever, and they were like, I need some big strong boys to come help me lift stuff. I was like,
Motherfucker,
I can do
got
some
this
lifting.
shit.
Yeah.
No,
Like you look over at the little scrawny guy and you go, nah, man, don't bother. Don't. Just don't.
I could pick you and that up.
It's fine. Don't.
Yeah, it's like-
Actually, so I want to comment on this real quick before we go any further. So Mark said, funny thing is there have been studies that show homophobic people are more than likely suppressed gays. Those that would abuse gay people are probably suppressed gays. When I was afraid to come out of the closet, I acted absolutely homophobic. And I'm going to tell you why I did it. I was so afraid someone would associate me with them and think I was too. That's all it was.
Yeah.
I was scared to death that someone would find out, like my family, and they would disown me, or someone would attack me and try to kill me, because that shit was going on in the late 90s.
Yeah. For real.
I was scared. I was scared. And when I came out in 2001, I felt so fucking good to say, yeah, I fuck chicks. Hell yeah, I do. But yeah, no, that's what it was for me. And so every time I see someone who's like outrageously homophobic, I know they're gay. I know they really want to suck that cock. I know. Hi, Catnip.
Aren't you glad you came in here, huh?
How are you, sweetheart? It's good to
This
see
is
you.
pretty much
Miss-
par for the
Miss
course.
Twitch star.
I mean, you guys, were you around Sunday, Deb? Like, Jesus Christ.
No, but I saw
The
the.
fuckery
I
I got up
went back and watched it, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Whoa!"
It was all over Twitter and the DMs.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
everybody's
Oh my God, was it?
Oh
God.
yeah, oh yeah.
We should blow it up like
Isn't
OA
she?
Post.
My
she
God.
is. I agree.
Oh,
Ox.
thanks.
I
That
agree.
was I was like, I was watching. I'm like, okay, am I missing something? I had to actually concentrate and go back and watch. I'm like, okay, now I understand. It was just a little bit. I was a little out of it when I tried to watch it. He did not.
Ox, my old thing. I used to talk like this, and I'd be like, "Hell yeah, that's what I'm saying." Ding. Just look and deadpan back at the person.
Yeah. You know what, BB? Like when I was
Funny
growing
shit.
up, I've always, I've always knew I was she, she, her. But like I did not like to do the typical like what they would say is girl things. I prefer to do, I prefer to be outside in the garden doing or mowing the grass or playing baseball or doing those kind of things which weren't considered girl things. And when I was growing up, that was very much the you very much followed the gender norms for your gender. You didn't go outside of it. Like, I couldn't stand wearing dresses. I wanted to wear pants. I didn't know why I had to sit still and my brothers could do whatever the hell they wanted. At that point I was just more into that kind of stuff. But, I didn't realize that there was even a inkling of anything in me until I met Beck. And then when I met Beck, I had to make I had to take a good hard look and make some decisions. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Deb, I dated a woman right after I came out. We were friends. I moved into her room and we ended up having sex one night, and then next thing I knew, she was like crazy about me, and I didn't know what to do. And she was a really great lady, so I thought, well, I'll give it a shot. I'll date her, right?
Yeah.
So it was just all very rushed because we lived in the same place. And I came home one day from work, about a month into it, 3 weeks into it, and all my clothes were not in my room; they were in her room. And I was like,
what up?
oh, this shit just got real, bro.
Wait.
Anyway, so the end all of it was I ended up cheating on her because I got drunk and someone took advantage of that, and I should not have got that drunk around that person. I thought I was with a friend.
Yeah.
Anyways, who was female and gay and wanted to have sex with me. And I knew that previously, but she also knew I was in a relationship. And she kind of took advantage of that. But anyways, fault either way. We both fucked up. She and I both fucked up. And so I really broke her heart. And a couple years later, I got back in touch with her and I went to apologize. And she said, don't worry about it. And I said, no, I need to apologize. And she goes, you can if you want to, but it's water under the bridge to me. And I said, really? And she goes, yeah. She goes, I was really pissed at you for the last 2 years, but obviously we were not meant to be together and we wouldn't have worked. And that's just how it is. And I said, well, thank you for that. I said, that's extremely adult and mighty big of you,
So like Beck,
so hold on, I gotta finish the story. So I said, so how are you? And we started talking and she's like, oh, I'm happily married. I said, oh, who'd you find? Oh, his name is blah, blah, blah. And I said, his? I said, I thought you were gay. And she said, no. I only like guys. It's just you were an exception.
What?
No,
she was
you were just
madly in love with me, and I had the body of a female and identified as a lesbian. But it wasn't. She's like, no, I'm not gay. Well, it's kind of like with Heather, right? Her son said, I didn't know you were gay, and her daughter says to him, yeah, but no, Beck's a guy. Beck's trans, so he's a guy. So mom's not gay. And he goes, oh, good point. That was the discussion.
Really?
Right. They're amazing kids, but anyways.
So what were you saying, BB?
So I love you, Beck. I love you very much. You have a lot of stories of you getting drunk and then you like being like, oh, I was drunk, nothing big happened. Beck, my love.
That is not true. I have way more stories of being high than drunk. Just the drunk ones is when shit went wrong. I'm saying
that's
don't
fucking
drink.
Objection.
Get high, don't drink is what I'm trying to say. When I'm high, I'm fine. When I get drunk, bad shit happens.
Okay. I love you.
Unless I'm at Heather's house, then it's really good shit. But that's not the point. It's
So
the only place I don't get in trouble.
I think she's concerned about your sexual activities when you're drunk, is what she's trying to say there, or is it his liver that you're concerned about, BB?
Yes, both.
Okay.
Oh, my liver's fine.
Oh, I'm sure your liver is fine, but you have a lot of stories where you're like, oh yeah, I was drunk and then this thing happened.
Well, I went through some years where I drank here and there. Yeah, I did, because I was not happy. So I did do that, but over the last hold on, let me think.
No, you're hitting everything but the point. It's not like I'm not mad like, oh, you were drunk. Like, oh
No, I know. I was just trying to think. When my big drinking phase stopped when I came out of the closet because my ex-husband was a heavy drinker. We drank almost every night. On the weekends we got drunk and high. And during the week we just got high and drank a little bit. Yeah. So after I left him, and when I left him in 2001 is when the big drinking stopped, actually. It was just random after that, a party.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or people trying to get me drunk and take advantage of me.
Yeah, I was sorry, he's coughing. That's what I was trying.
Oh, I don't care. I cough.
I will bare knuckle box. I'm going to say that word a lot. I will bare knuckle box anyone who hurts me.
Who what?
Sorry. I will bare knuckle box anyone that hurts you with my fist.
Oh.
It's okay. I think Beck can whoop ass all on his own. We can just sit back.
No, I'm a wimp. Very
I'm pretty
weak.
sure he can also, but BB, I'll be
Very,
right there
very
beside you,
weak.
sis. We'll
and
take him on.
short. Very weak and short.
I don't believe you.
Oh,
Fuck off.
You know what? Here's the thing about short guys, and you're not that short from what I gathered.
Yeah, you're
No,
what,
I'm
5'6"?
You're only like
I'm just
Yeah.
not. It's funny because I went from a generation where 5'6" was kind of tall for a female, and then I got older and I'm like, I'm trans. Oh, now I'm short. Fuck.
Gosh darn it.
Again, for your
God damn
age,
it.
I would actually say your height's average, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, the tallest guy in my family, in my immediate family, brother or sister, brothers and everything. I have a brother that is a little over 6 foot. He's almost 6'1". I have another brother that's 5'9", another brother that's 5'7", and then I'm 5'6". So I don't really think it's that off for my genetics. My dad was only 5'7".
Well,
And actually, I used to be a half-inch taller, but I have shrunk.
or you
since I
could be
got-
lucky like
since
me.
I joined
and
the army.
I had back surgery. I shrunk because my back got so bad, but then I had back surgery and I grew again. And then everything went to shit again. So now I'm back down to 5'2". And, it's just
That's some
sucking.
roller coaster shit there,
I'm
Deb.
telling you, man, if I get any fucking older, I'm going to shrink again.
I mean, I hope you get older because the alternative is death.
Bolt!
That's true. Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Yes, Bolt. You should definitely take an edible and go to sleep.
Yes, Bolt.
Oh,
Yes,
drink
Bolt.
some
Or
water
come
and
in.
take a Tylenol before you go to sleep
Come in, Bolt.
with your edible.
Yeah, please. Anyone who wants to join us, there's a link in the chat. Please come in. I can say that,
HR
right?
said I'm 5'1". Hi, HR. How are you, sweetheart? Ox said it's proven that men and women's bodies handle booze differently. Men's
Well,
bodies
yeah.
have enzymes that eat the booze that women's bodies don't. Does that change when going through transit? You're gonna
That's
have to
a
ask
really good
Ben.
question.
You're gonna have to ask Ben that
Oh,
one.
yeah.
I have no fucking idea. That's a good question.
And I think he is working tonight, isn't he? He's on night.
Oh, yeah,
shift
he's
this
working
week.
overnight.
Yeah.
If you guys DM him, he said we're just waiting for something to happen. We are bored as fuck. So he's
Now-
like, if I'm
DM
bored,
him. He'll
I
probably
will
let you
answer
know.
you.
If there's
So
any
Ox, you
truth,
could stick that in a DM. He probably would appreciate the attention right now.
I will be able to clarify something. If there is any truth in that, it is not completely accurate, because if you didn't have the enzymes at all, then you wouldn't be able to digest alcohol and you'd die. So
It's a
everyone
different
has these
level.
enzymes. What I suspect is probably going on is the suggestion that men have more of them, which
Yeah.
I don't know if is true or not, but that would be something I'd want to ask.
I mean,
him.
it's possible. It's absolutely
And
possible.
If that is the case, I would actually say maybe it is possible.
But
that,
also, I
after
have
transition-
known guys that cannot handle alcohol at all and are on the floor after the 5th beer. And I have known women, little tiny women, like 5'2", 140 pound, 30 pound, 20 pounds, small little women that will drink a guy under the fucking table. So
Well, I think it also has to do with
that's
color.
not in stone. It's probably that now, if it is the enzymes, it's probably just that their enzymes are varied and off for what they should be for their at birth gender.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of factors that go into one's alcohol tolerance and ability to do it, and it's just on average, when isolating for others, like when all other variables are kept the same or isolated, women tolerate alcohol less than men. When you isolate all other variables, but there are so many other variables, a lot of genetic components. So of course, background, it plays a big part. I know a lot of people love to make jokes like obviously the Irish and blah 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 are better at it. I don't like the stereotyping, but like there is a genetic component to it. So like that could be where part of it is your weight. How much of your weight is fat versus muscle is actually really important as well. So not just weight alone, though more weight means more tolerance, but also now I actually can't remember which is which.
I'm more lightweight.
I can't actually remember which is which. I think weight in fat cells is not as doesn't mitigate alcohol as much as weight in like muscle and other tissue. But I cannot remember for the life of me because it is after 12 o'clock and I don't feel like doing any research at the moment.
Hey, so Farron, I want to congratulate you. That's a lot of years of sobriety, my friend. That's a lot of years. Good for you.
Thank you. I actually didn't mean to click off on that. That was an accident because I was going to do this.
Yeah, because that's a long goddamn time.
Like, that's fucking amazing. Good for you, bro. Seriously.
Hey,
some of us
yeah,
are just born with an addictive personality, and some of us have to fight it. And some of us are lucky like me, and I could just toss it aside and go, I don't want to do this anymore. I did like I lived in Florida and I did coke with some friends for like a year off and on. And towards the end of the year, the last like month, they started doing it all the time. And I was like,
yeah, coke.
I don't want to. And they were like, what? And I said,
exactly.
I don't want to. And they were like, I don't understand what you're saying.
Cocaine is so good, it can be a problem. Really
I mean, they were
fast.
literally like, could not understand the words coming out of my mouth because I kept saying, I don't want to do it.
I probably shouldn't say that. We're on Facebook.
And I said, they were like, what do you mean? I'm like, I just want to smoke pot. That's my gig. Maybe cerveza with some tequila, you know. I don't want to. And they were like, okay. And then they started acting really weird to me after that. And shit just got crazy.
My favorite part of Beck is he casually
because I didn't want to do coke.
Yeah,
huh?
just casually. Yeah,
whatever. Some people tried cocaine.
What, BB?
My favorite part of you is we're having just like a conversation. You're like, oh yeah, I did some coke. Like,
yeah, because I'm honest. I don't hide anything.
Whatever. I do meth on a regular basis.
There is very, very little about me that everybody in this community does not know. Because I am big about just being honest and being who you are, and this is me. And I don't regret any of that because I got this out of all of that.
Yeah.
And I know I'm a good person, and I know that I treat people good, and I know I'm kind and considerate and giving and caring and everything that I think everybody should be. So I have no reason to hide it. If that was part of the steps to make me, I'm good.
Shit, it's too much hassle to hide or lie about things. That's why I don't do it. It's just too much hassle.
I have no shame. I just don't. I've done some stupid shit. I've had sex with some random ass fucking women. I mean, it's true, but you know.
I'd like to say, Ox, thank you for doing the research I was too lazy to do right now.
Right.
So, women have less of the ADH enzyme, alcohol dehydrogenase. Pronunciation, I can't do it right now. And
dehydrogenase. Oh, it's alcohol dehydrogenase. Oh, yeah. Okay. I actually know how to say that one. Go ahead.
If I'm not misremembering, it's either the same or like there's multiple enzymes which are involved in the breakdown of various things. But I do know that part of the process of breaking down alcohol involves, I can't remember if it's ADH or one of the other enzymes. I think it is ADH, which is also involved in the breakdown of acetaminophen. So this is why you're not supposed to drink alcohol and take Tylenol at the same time, because the same enzymes are involved in it. And but interestingly enough,
because they both go through your liver.
Yeah, well, they both go through your liver, but more importantly, they both go through your liver and occupy the same liver enzymes. Because there's plenty of things that go through your liver, but your liver has a lot of enzymes.
No, that's true. Yeah.
And so there's plenty of things you can have together which don't tax the same enzymes. At which point it's like it doesn't really matter. It's also you take your medicines. I'm going to talk about medicine again. Is also why when you think about
Dude,
did you just really do that? You threw those all back?
maybe I just found this. I had bought it for going over the road, so I had every day set up. So I bought a 2 weeks, and then I forgot I bought it, and I found it today, and I was like, "That's hilarious! Why do I need anything that big?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, my vitamins, because I have a few different types of vitamins I like to take. I don't like to do just multis. There's certain things I want to take more of, like selenium. By the way, selenium's really good for you. It's really good for your hair and your skin and your eyes, and it can even help your immune system to fight off some ugly shit. So if you want to have better hair and better everything and nails and skin, take selenium.
Interesting you say that, because some of the like focused multivites I see, the ones that are like marketed as like hair and nails, one of the not always, but one of the common ingredients is selenium in those things. I think the other one is like biotin, if I'm not biotin.
It is biotin.
Biotin is also a skin and hair. Anything that's good for your hair or skin and nails, it's all three every time.
Yep. Yeah, because they're related.
Well, because your nails are hair.
Well, I take biotin, and I have to.
Your fingernails are hair. If anybody doesn't know that, it's true. Your fingernails are hair.
Same here, Mark. I did the exact same thing. I was sick of worrying about my hair, so I shaved it all off. That's why I wear.
And by the way, it's fucking cute, and you look really good with the. I could not get away with that. I do not have the right shaped head.
Well, now that we're talking about it,
show everybody. It looks good on you.
Oh my God!
Does she look cute? I know. It suits her face. Fucking
damn,
Look at you! Oh my God! Oh,
cute.
Adorable.
I love
I'm
you so
still
much.
self-conscious, but
Sabrina,
yeah,
slide
Sabrina.
in my DMs.
We need to get you like some bright blue frames or something that just like.
Oh my gosh! No,
You need some
that
bright
is your
frames
look
at, like,
right there.
3.
That is your look.
How do you say cute?
Hold on.
Hello,
We
Bo.
got a drunk bolt. Yes.
Hello, gorgeous
Bolt.
motherfuckers.
Hello,
Hey,
you
how's it going?
beautiful motherfucker. How are you?
Oh my God! Look at you,
Yeah.
Sabrina.
I miss you
love that
guys.
look. Love
You guys
it.
are always on Twitch without us.
I mean,
Fuck
I
off.
miss you
that's
too.
my home.
I know. I
I
gotta
would
start
have
doing
known
more
you were
Twitch
doing
stuff.
stuff Sunday. I would have just invited you instead of you guys having to do your own thing.
Oh yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know what your schedule is. I don't know what anybody's
I don't
doing,
have
and
a
we were
schedule.
already streaming, and then you went live, and everybody was having a good combo, so I just left it alone.
Hey, we could have just hopped in my DMs and been like, "Hey, the fuck."
I should hop in. I should slide into your DMs.
Yeah, you
You
should.
have my actual goddamn phone number.
I know. I seriously do. I could text you right now.
Motherfuckers.
I could actually. She's one of the few people in the entire. Like Deb is my best friend. Doesn't even have my phone number.
I don't.
Mikey, Famine, Neil,
No.
and Catnip. Oh, and Farron. See, Farron, how special you are. You are one of 4 people that has. I actually gave
No,
it
I
to
took my
Ben
glasses off, by the
in
way.
case he ever wanted it, and he goes, I don't know. We'll just talk on here. And I was like, okay. So I don't even have Ben's number. He doesn't have mine. He lost it. He didn't want it.
I don't have any of it either. No.
Ox said, Sabrina, never be ashamed to be you. Fake people fake who they are. Thank you, Ox.
goodness
Titan Uranus says too much selenium can cause nausea, vomiting, nail discoloration, and loss, hair loss, fatigue, irritability, and garlic breath. Some is good, more is not better. No, I agree with that. And I take a dosage that actually a doctor told me to take because I used to have tinea versicolor. And if nobody knows what that is, it's
What?
TINEA, Versa, just like it sounds, color, just like it sounds. And what it is it's overactive yeast in your skin, and it's a genetic thing. My sister had it. We didn't know what it was. My mom thought she had some kind of like viral thing, but nobody else had it. So mom was like, and they didn't know what it was at the doctors because back then they just didn't fucking know. And they didn't know to check for overactive yeast on the skin. So anyway, so when I put on a shirt of hers, and I ended up with it. But I was going to end up with it anyways. And we all thought she gave it to me. And everybody was like, my God, they're so identical that these two, they're the only ones that have this. It's weird, right? Because we were like identical twins, you know, just 8 years apart. So it was like a joke. And then I got older and it started getting really bad. And I was like talking to my sister. I think I went to visit her. That's what it was. I went to visit her and I said, oh, my tinea is really bothering. She's like, you got to use this. So she gives me this goopy ass cream that it takes forever to soak into your skin. It's really, really thick. And I had it all over my torso, all over my back, except for where my moobs are. Everywhere else was tinea. It was down my arm. It was up my neck. Man. And then it would stop right about my waistline. Wow. So the hottest part of my body and some on the inside of my thighs, the hottest part of my body, I had overactive yeast. Because I am a hot fucking person, and no, I don't mean that. Stop.
Yeah, you did. Come on,
no. I have a high body temperature all the time.
I know, but
anything over 70, if I just get up, I start sweating. Like anything over 75. Anyways, so the point was, oh fuck, where was I going? God damn it, Deb.
You were hot.
What are you blaming me for?
What I say? Oh, the tinea versicolor.
Yeah.
So I get sick of the goop. And I'm like, fuck it, I'll just deal with it. Now, I had this shit like really bad by the time I was like 6, right? 6 years old. I've dealt with this whole time. So I went to a dermatologist. I said, what the fuck? And they were like, selenium. No, they told me to, they told my nephew, that's what it was. My nephew went to the doctor first. He has it too. My sister's son, by the way. And my son ended up with it. So it's definitely handed down. So both of our sons ended up with it, right? Anyway, so he's like, oh, the doctor said to take a shower with dandruff shampoo. Oh. And I was like, okay. So I look at the ingredient on them like, can I find this not in like a minty, burning my body, tea tree oil shit, whatever's in here? So I go into the pharmacy and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to use my resource. I'm going to go talk to my pharmacist.
Yes.
So I walked up to the pharmacist and I said, excuse me, I need a consult. And he said, what's up? And I said, I'm looking for selenium. I said, selenium sulfate. And he goes, oh, that's not something you can just buy over the counter. You'd have to have a prescription or something like that. Or it's hard to get a hold of or something at that time. And this was years ago. And I said, okay, well, damn. And he goes, why don't you just take selenium? And I was like, huh? And he's like, there's a vitamin, selenium. And I was like, selenium. Oh, you know, I do remember selenium from when I used to work in a drugstore. He goes, yeah, come here, let me show you. He's like, this is the same thing. And I said, really? And he said, yeah, the sulfate just means it's made into like a gel or a topical something. And I was like, oh. And he's like, just take these pills. I took those pills for 3 fucking months. Never had tinea since.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
And you know what? I randomly just take some. I'll take some for a few weeks, maybe a month or two, and then I forget for a little bit, and I'll start. But I just randomly take them because I still take that same amount he told me to take. Won't hurt me. It's just the amount that is on the bottle, literally, the base amount. Yeah, and it's really good for you, actually.
Beck, do you know what I forgot to do?
Pee? I don't know.
No, I did that. I forgot to say at the end of the show that everybody could catch me tomorrow on Neil's podcast, on Neil's thing, because tomorrow I'm going to be on.
Oh yeah, Momma Deb she's breaking her Neil cherry tomorrow.
Yeah.
Why do you have to word it that way? Come on, why?
Why not? Actually, goddamn why he's got to word it
because
that
it's Momma Deb and she loves that shit.
I think it's funny as hell. I do.
I know. Trust me, I know.
Deb likes innuendo. I mean, innuendo.
I do.
Well, a little bit of that too, I think. I'm not sure. You never got
well, yeah, because my brain is usually in the gutter when somebody says something, so I just go with it. Why not?
Yeah, we've met. Yeah.
Yeah, I know we have. Yeah, we had a pretty frank. Oh, that's right. That was the day that Beck called us and he was drunk on tequila.
Oh, God, it was hilarious.
That was so funny.
Bye, guys.
Are you leaving? Okay, thank you again for joining me. I appreciate you. Love you too. Love you, Edgar.
Love you guys.
See you guys later.
They're amazing people.
They really are.
They're
They
sweet.
really are. So yeah, back we
You
were
guys,
just
you guys
reminiscing.
should go back and watch that part where he's talking to Deb.
Yeah. Oh God, it was. Yeah.
He
it was
said,
very
"I
nice.
just am not happy with myself." Basically, is what he said. I'm not happy with myself because it took me so long to understand where she was coming from to help her instead of being angry about it.
Yeah.
Mm.
It was,
Aww. And the look on his face, like you could just tell he was disappointed.
yeah.
He was not okay with it. And she was like, "Honey, you did fine." He's like, "No,
It's exactly
I got angry, and I should have been understanding." And I mean, just
Pretty
the
humble
nicest
dude.
guy in the
Kinda cool.
fucking world. Really, I'm so happy they're happy. That's amazing.
So Beck, you missed it, or you chose to ignore us. Bolt and I were reminiscing on the drunk tequila phone call that you made when we were at lunch.
I think Beck forgot.
You and Louie were on the road, and you went to drink. You drank your lunch, your dinner, and then
Oh
called me.
yeah. When I didn't have any food that day. Oh, I got
Yeah.
drunk. So I had 2 drinks, and let me tell you what that fucking bartender was like.
Dude, you were so
Like
funny. Because you were talking, I'm like, I'm just gonna put you on speaker because you were wanting me to tell everybody things, and we just passed the phone around, and you, oh
I
Lord,
remember that.
Mhm.
oh yeah,
I feel
It's
like at the
funny
end of
because
that,
when
at
we
the end
left
of
the
that phone
bar,
call,
I wasn't drunk yet.
oh Jesus, you
And
were
we
by the
left,
time
we
you got home.
got up and we left, and we were smoking pot too, right? Of
Oh well,
course.
there you go.
of course.
Because we both had dabs with us. And so we leave the bar, we have to go down the sidewalk, and then he's like, "Come on, let's go and cross the road now." And I'm like, "Why?" Like, I didn't want to walk any further than I had to. And I was like, all of a sudden, I was just like drunk, and I was like, "Why?" I was like, "Louie," and so he takes me on the other side of the road. Now, this side of the road, the sidewalk's dead ass straight, right? The other side of the road, it does this.
Well, better
As
to
you're
be on the
going
straight
along,
line, I
and
guess.
I'm like, we're both like swaying,
Oh,
trying
it
to
was
go
so
around
funny.
the curves. And I said, "Damn it, Louie! If we would have stayed on the other side, this would be a straight line." And he goes, "Oh fuck, bro, we can't walk straight right now, anyways." And I said, "You're right. This is kind of nice." And
Dude, he was so toasted. I mean, he had the drunk smile and everything. And then, as we're getting ready to leave the restaurant, right? So I'm still talking to him on the phone, and out of night, he goes, "I'm going to bed." I said, "Okay." And so he either dropped the way he was holding the camera or something, but he literally flashed me. I was like, "Oh,
I
hello!"
literally set the phone down and just pulled my pants down and flashed it and pulled it back.
I was like, "Well,"
And she goes,
no.
"You remember flashing me?" I was like, "What? I did? Oh my god, I did do that."
Oh my god, I did do that. Yeah,
Beck
that
sending
did.
dick pics. Jesus Christ.
Hey, you know what? It doesn't matter though. It's basically ass pics, right? Because I don't have the Well, she would have took those too. That's not the point.
It doesn't matter.
Things are
Doesn't
bigger.
matter.
Anyways, not the point. The point is,
It was just cute.
I don't know. That's what
Just-
The point was, it was a very interesting conversation, and like people were giving advice to Beck about certain things, and Beck was like, "Well, all right, I'll keep that in mind." And I was dying over in the corner. I'm like, "Oh my god!" Yeah.
What were they telling me?
Oh, that you and I should do the horizontal tango together. Horizontal.
Me.
Oh, I do
What-
remember. Well, was that you?
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was you. I
Oh,
fucking
yes.
remember that now. You look back.
Oh yes.
sounds
I
like
was
something-
encouraging you to follow through.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I was encouraging you to get laid.
Mhm.
Yeah, Stephanie,
friend.
Louis is the
Damn
guy I was driving with.
Yeah,
He
that
doesn't
was
like-
that's
he doesn't
right.
like
That
me
was
anymore.
it was right after we had just decided. Becca just decided to put the brakes on things, and we had
Yeah.
agreed just to be that. And then I told Bolt that, and he's like, "Is he out of his fucking mind? Let me talk to him." I'm like, "Here, okay."
I'm like, you ain't got to get married. Shit.
Well, I'm already married,
Right.
so
There ain't no commitment here. Just have fun.
Fun is good.
Get your knob polished.
You know,
Come
that's
on.
weird. That's weird, Jerry. As close as Jen and I are, I never gave her my phone number. She never gave me. We just talk over Twitter all the time.
My god.
It's weird, isn't it? I should give her my phone number. I should probably give it to Deb too.
Probably, but that's all
It'd be
right.
easier than going through Facebook Messenger all the time.
Oh, that's true. We do that a lot.
You all right, Sabrina?
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, I've just been doing some reading because I got got into a research binge all of a
that's
sudden.
okay.
So I was just looking into like salts of selenium and the Tinea versicolor and such like that because it was what was being talked about earlier.
I just saw you concentrating. Figured
Yeah,
I'd
that's
say
why.
hello.
Concentrating face looked like we had all disappointed you, and we were all
Right,
going.
yeah, I was wondering. I
I
was
don't even know what it
wondering
looked like because I didn't have I didn't have the screen up. I was
No.
too lazy to move it over to my other monitor, so I just tabbed it.
No, you're right. It's just the face you made when you're concentrating. You were just like,
No, you were. That's exactly. She's got it dead on.
That's about right.
You just
That's about
nailed
right.
that shit.
it felt like I was fixing to get a lecture.
Do I really have to put up with this shit? That's what it looked like.
No,
It
no,
did.
no, no.
Good night, HR.
I was like only partially absorbing what was going on. I was just kind of focused on reading.
It's like, this is going to be the cutest lecture I've ever gotten in my life. Let's go.
Is that like that Toby Keith song?
Oh, I'm just talking about tonight.
Whoa,
Yes,
girl.
yes, that's exactly.
I'm not talking about.
Yep. Been down forever. No, it's yeah, just talking about tonight.
That would be too demanding.
Yep.
I'm just talking
See, now he's
about
gonna serenade
two
me.
lonely people who can reach a little understanding.
Oh.
I gotta play with that voice.
See,
Anyway,
you go ahead, Sabrina.
I was going to say, through the reading I was doing, I found it interesting that you were using basically selenium supplements to treat your condition. Because what I'm looking into is that's not really like, even though there are oral treatments for it, it's not really considered one of the main treatments. So it's interesting that it worked, and I'm almost wondering
It's just what the pharmacist said.
Yeah, I mean, he probably like it's probably an off label, as like it's not what it's listed as.
It's
should
not
work,
something
but it does work.
specifically, but he knows it works. I mean, he was an older guy. He probably has just seen a lot of shit.
I suspect. I think I probably understand how it works because what some of the other oral medications, some of the other oral ones work, they'd be like oral antifungals and other kinds of things. One of them, the way that it works is you actually, it's a single dose, and then you have to exercise for like about an hour and a half later, and to sweat. And so basically, you wait an hour, have it go through the system, and then you sweat it out. So what I think is probably happening is that with the supplementation, because our bodies don't need a lot of selenium. Like our systemic need for selenium is very, 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 very low. And so with like regular selenium supplementation, unless you're naturally deficient, which you probably aren't, the excess is going to get, because how do we get rid of excess vitamins? Through well, urine is one of them, but like
but
a lot of what we excrete in urine is also excreted in sweat. So you probably sweat it out, it's killing the fucking
I find this interesting, and I'll tell you why. I sweat all the time when I'm working.
That's why I was thinking, because you were mentioning that you sweat a lot. I'm like, that's probably why it works especially well for you.
That absolutely makes sense why it worked for me. It worked for my son, too.
I'm assuming your son sweats a lot, too?
You're looking bored, too.
What?
Deb, you had the opportunity.
Oh, yeah, it's genetic.
Did you what?
You had the opportunity earlier to really flirt hardcore with Beck.
I know, but I'm trying to respect his boundaries, and plus, I've got other shit going on in my life that's not having me be in a very flirtatious mood.
Yes.
So,
Fair.
Yes.
I will make up for it, though. I will totally make up for it another time. Yeah.
Talk about that later.
Yeah.
So, sounds like a family show from Alabama. What the
yeah,
fuck?
Did you look up a couple of it. It says "Laughing My Ass Off," the Momma Deb and Beck show.
Alabama?
I just need somebody to
should
clarify.
do a show together. That's actually not a bad idea.
If it's Momma Deb and Uncle Beck, and you guys end up being a thing at some point later, some other time, is it Daddy Beck and Momma Deb?
I mean, I am a daddy. That would be appropriate.
Daddy.
I could change it to Daddy Beck. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like,
where this is going. I just
Deb wishes. Anyways,
Beck wishes he wasn't. Beck wishes that he could do what he needs to do and not be
I apologize to you.
No,
because
you do.
I have eyes for one woman. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're so full of shit. But I do,
No, I'm being honest. Do you want me
I
to lie
do
to you?
applaud your loyalty. No, I absolutely applaud your loyalty. I
I'm
do.
not gonna lie.
I
Only
know.
in Alabama can you be your own grandpa. You know,
No,
that's
you can
the
be
damn
it.
truth. You know what about? I'll say about it's either Alabama or Georgia. I'm not sure which one, y'all, but one of them you can marry your fucking first cousin.
Oh, a lot of states you can marry your first cousin.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
common in a lot of places.
It's about 20.
I don't
20
know about
to
that
22,
because I'm going to
25,
tell you,
yeah.
we were up in
25, I think,
Pennsylvania,
yeah.
Virginia,
20 to
and
25.
Maryland. The family was me
Hey,
and
Steph.
my ex-husband and all of his family, and they were in Pennsylvania, and his aunt had to go all the way down to Alabama or Georgia because that was
It's
the closest
legal.
state that would marry first cousins.
It's illegal to marry
With
your
her
first
first
cousin
cousin.
in 19 states.
So it's illegal in 19.
Well,
No, it's legal.
legal.
legal in
Okay.
19 states.
Illegal in
Yeah, it must
a
be in the
lot.
Midwest because it wasn't on the East Coast. They literally said they
Oh,
had to
East
go
Coast,
down there
no.
to get married. So unless they're
It's
just wrong.
probably fucking places like Utah.
Oh, well, of course it is.
It is legal in
what do you
California.
think?
It's legal in
It's
California? Really? Wow.
Well, I mean, that actually makes sense
It
because
actually-
despite the fact that everybody in this group rightfully thinks that's disgusting, the science shows that the chance of having there being some sort of birth defect from a first cousin marriage is significantly, it's like so insignificant that it doesn't really matter if you marry
Yeah,
your
but
first cousin.
I think it depends on whether
scientifically
you grew.
speaking.
I think it depends on whether you grew up with them or not. Like, is
Well,
this a
right.
cousin
The
you
social
met as an
problems.
adult, or is this a
Right.
cousin that you used to play dolls with together? That might be kind of weird because that's
I'm
kind of
just
like
saying,
a sister.
California
But
would
if it's
follow the
something you
science
met
more
as
than
an
the social
adult,
problem.
I mean,
That's true.
you didn't
That's
grow
true.
up with them, and most cousins are only cousins by marriage, anyways. There's no
Right.
blood. It's the blood cousins I have an issue with. Just
Yeah,
because
but
there's
what
that.
Paul
that's-
was saying
it'd
is
be a
that
person-
the
yeah.
genetic risks is
No,
is
I know. I just
basically
said,
insignificant. Yeah,
even
sorry.
though
Yeah.
the chance is small.
Yeah, the genetic risk is really insignificant, which is
Yeah.
why I think California is like fine with it.
Yeah.
Because like they would have gone with the science, not with the social shit.
No, you're
What's
right.
interesting is that they have something in common with Florida and New York State as well, because all three of them are fine with it.
Huh.
So
New York State, really?
Florida,
Yeah.
New York is now, right? Oh, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
New York's
Oh,
fine with it.
I
damn.
don't think they were in the 90s.
I think it's happening.
You know what? Yeah, let's move a little bit on from this.
Anyways, now mind you guys, the last thing I'm going to say about it, his
Oh, God.
aunt, she went down there and married this guy in like 1997 or something. This was a long time ago. So I don't know what laws have changed in what states since then. Titan Uranus says first cousins have low consanguinity. It increases your chance of a bad genetic outcome by less than 0.5%.
Well, like Paul said, pretty insignificant. Pretty insignificant.
You know, my big thing is just don't fuck your sister, or your brother, or your mother,
Okay.
No.
or your dad.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
disgusting.
One thing, if we're gonna stay on this, because it sounds like we are, one thing I would
I was
wonder.
going to change the subject, but okay.
One thing I would wonder is the risks with cousins.
Mhm.
Would that increase
Ooh, I need to go to bed.
when it's
Yeah.
when the marrying of cousins becomes a common thing, where it's like
Oh.
your parents are their own cousins, and so on and so on. Like
Huh.
if it's just basically the 0.5% to the power of how many generations does this, it's still not particularly significant because
Yeah, if it's one in
basically-
10 one couple in 10 generations.
well
It's
no,
not
like
gonna be-
mathematically, if the way it works is simply like exponential in that fashion, and the only thing is we go from a 0.5% risk to a 1% risk because 0.5 and then add an additional half, so 0.75 and so on. That is just going to approach 1. It's just going to approach 1, and so it's not going to ever go above 1%. But maybe it doesn't work that way mathematically. So, like, I'm not sure how does it work. And just, gosh,
I mean, I don't know. That's
go from
the
medical
one thing
and
that
math.
that's one of the things I think I always thought,
I think it's
anyways,
easier.
that why the states did that was to keep from multiple generations from doing it.
Yeah.
Because I thought that increased the risk. Now, if it does, then maybe that's not a bad thing to keep an eye out for. But also, the chances of multiple cousins and shit and in-laws, whatever, marrying each other in a family, like more than one of them, is so
Pretty small.
fucking slim to none.
It was
like, that's
it's
not
way more,
gonna. I've never heard of that happening.
It's way more common in like royal families. Right?
Oh yeah,
Where
because
they're
Well, yeah, they're trying to keep the
it
pure
in
blood.
the family. Right.
Yeah, you saw that last queen. What was it? Which queen was it?
I mean,
She
there
was
were a couple.
scary looking.
Yeah, I feel like there's been a few queens in different places in the world that
She-
have looked really inbred.
Yeah.
She looked like somewhere between a guy and a woman, and she didn't have any fucking hair. And they had taken it like a generation or two too far, trying to keep the pure blood.
That's
And I
funny.
can't remember which queen it is, but if you guys look it up, she was born of multi-generational incest, and she's freaky looking. Like she had to like her hair is sparse, like Gollum, if I remember correctly, kind of like Gollum, like little
I
tiny
hate
patches of
to
hair.
do this, you guys, but I am done.
I'm done.
I'm tired.
I'm done.
So if you guys remember, please come check me out on Neil 604 Atheist tomorrow. I think at 5 o'clock is when I'm going to be on there. So please, please, please. And thank you for joining. Yes, darling.
If anybody else wants to talk in the back room or whatever, if anybody's going to hang out, say something now, you guys, and then we can bring some people in before one of us leaves.
I mean, I'm totally down to just keep shooting the breeze with a bunch of people if you guys want to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Beck, will you handle it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got it.
All right. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Night.
It was great seeing Deb.
There goes Deb. So, okay, we'll just sit here and bullshit for a little while then. Fuck it. So
We are still live. Do we want to be, or?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Okay.
She just wanted to go. If you guys want to keep talking, I'm fine. I'll stay up for a little bit because I got to kind of like sit here and decompress for a minute.
Fair enough. Yeah, like I get up, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go get a beer. Then come back, I'm like, oh, everyone's talking about leaving. God damn it! I timed that badly.
I mean, I might soon too because it's almost 1 a.m. here.
I'm gonna be crossfaded not too long from now. So
Yeah, you know, fair enough. If you guys are all lining down, then yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I'd be almost tempted to start
CBD jellies, journeyman, and it shows a couch. Like normally you hear journeyman, you think someone who's going to go out in the wild and enjoy it. You would see trees and mountains, but no, these are gummies, so they just went ahead and made them.
It says
They
on the
put a
back
couch
here,
on.
"Life as a journeyman. Enjoy the ride."
Oh, you know what? It's funny. That is not the first
On
thing
the
I think
couch.
of when I hear the word journeyman.
No, me either.
Because when I think of that, I think of I can't even verbalize what I'm trying to say, but like
It's okay.
someone who's like studying a trade or like experiencing a
Yeah.
trade, like that's what I hear when I hear journeyman.
This is these are 50-1 CBD to THC, so super relaxing.
Damn it, Steph, what's your name on Twitter? I can't remember.
Stephanie Helms.
I thought that's what it
These
was.
make you chill out real good.
I was looking for her and it didn't show her. Oh, never mind. I got you. You're in here. You're in a DM. That's all that matters. Let me do it for her, Sabrina. Offer to pick a message off of Stephanie's profile to send her a message. And let me do it with her. I don't know why it wouldn't let me do it with you.
Well,
It just kept disappearing. Like I would click on it, it would just disappear. What are you doing, Kat?
fuckers, I'm going back to bed because
You're going back to bed?
Sleep.
All right, you two, get off of here, and Sabrina and I will take this thing out of here.
Yeah.
No worries.
Bye.
Me and
Good
my
night,
bow.
guys.
I
Good
love
to
you
see you back.
guys.
Night,
Have a
guys.
good night.
Good
It was
to see
great
you,
seeing you,
Sabrina.
Bolt. Love you, buddy.
Yeah, love me too.
Oh, there's Steph.
Hey, Steph.
Hi, Steph.
What's going on?
What are you doing?
hanging out.
We're just sitting here bullshitting. That's it.
No, that's
Nothing exciting.
yeah.
I think of a skilled trade union worker. I don't understand what you're talking about, Jer.
Journeyman. When I was talking about
the CBDs. Yeah. A skilled trade.
I think I'm a
union
skilled trade worker. Yeah.
You are
Well, don't have to be union.
worker.
There's journeymen that are not union. It's just the position you are in learning. Sometimes. Anyways,
The funny thing is, my first exposure to that word is not in real life, but in playing video games where I would playing. I can't remember what game it was.
Right here.
Like the guild or something, where you start up a guild of a particular trade or whatever, and then there's different ranks, and one of them is journeyman, and that's what I learned about the word. It's always through games, simulation games usually.
I learned it from electricians. Somebody was trying to get me to go be an electrician. They said they could train me up to journeyman, and then you could go off. And I said, "Yeah, I don't want to crawl underneath people's houses and deal with snakes and stuff. Nope, don't want to do it."
Well, you can start out as a journeyman beta, and then eventually work your way up to master beta. Work on them fishing boats,
I remember Master and Junior Bader.
Yeah.
I also remember Richard Pryor being hilarious in that fucking movie. Good shit right there, Steph.
It is total shit.
Huh?
It is total shit.
It was total shit. Had the toy. I want to play with you more. I'm tired. That kid was a little dickhead.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it reminds me of? You know when I think about him, you know what I think of? Trump as a kid.
Oh God.
I know he was just like that, right?
Well,
I mean, compared to how he acts now, I would assume.
Motherfucker never did a goddamn thing his entire life,
Everything was handed to him. Everything.
Born with a silver spoon up his ass.
So here's a little well, I mean a lot of people know it, but I'm gonna say just in case someone doesn't know it. So he always said, "Oh, I started out with $1 million." So here's the real story. When he turned 18, his family gave him $1 million to start.
Yeah.
By the time he was like 23 or 24, he went and borrowed $25 million from his trust fund.
Yeah.
So he could do these shit companies he was making up. He didn't start out with 1 million. He started out with $26 fucking million.
Yeah.
If I started out with $26 million, you know how fucking broke I'd be? Because I would help so many people. I'd live off the interest and just donate money all the fucking time. That's what I would do. I wouldn't have a fucking dime.
And that's the thing. With the way capitalism is set up, once you are at a certain threshold of wealth or capital, as the case may be, you actually have to work to lose it. It is harder to fail than it is to succeed.
Well, Donnie Two Scoops has certainly managed to fail spectacularly several times in his life.
Don't get me wrong. It's possible, but what I'm getting at is somebody who takes a lot of money and makes a lot of money, that's not a demonstration of any degree of skill. I mean, potentially they could be good at it.
You're
but
right.
The fact that they are financially successful when having a lot of money is not itself any degree of evidence to their skill. You can be basically incompetent, and as long as you don't fuck it up in a particular way, it's going to continue to make money for you because that's just the nature of how capitalism works.
Answer is correct. It is a specific level of achievement within a union.
I think it's used in multiple places. Yeah.
So it's not
because any skilled trade, carpenter, plumber, electrician, blah blah blah, they all have a journeyman and then master. So, Like I am a master transportation specialist.
Indeed.
Because I have moved so many. I've driven 1,000,000 miles around the United States.
And I, being in the marine industry, am a master beta.
Yes, you are.
Damn straight.
She's a master too.
Whatever. I would say I had my apprenticeship time.
Yeah.
Did serve my apprenticeship time.
Oh, it's funny. Master. Then everybody left, and we're still here talking. Jerry's the only one left. Right. I didn't know what Deb was doing. I thought she was going to shut down the street, and she just left. And I was like, okay.
All right, here I am,
All right, whatever. I mean, I'm making some coffee because coffee puts me to sleep because it's nice and warm and feels good on my tummy, and it makes me sleep good. So I'm making a cup of coffee to wind down with. I know everybody else is trying to drink alcohol, and I drink coffee to sleep.
No, that'll work.
I haven't even opened my beer. I think I might put it back in the fridge. I don't feel like it anymore.
Hey, it works great when you're ADD. Let me tell you, anything fucking caffeine. Oh, hi, TU. Thanks for hanging around. Yeah, anything with caffeine in it will just. The Coke would do it, but it's so cold that it wakes me up. So I do better with coffee.
I was going to say, why is your cocaine cold? I'm like, oh, right.
No.
It kind of freezes.
God, no, I haven't done that since I was 21. 21 last time I did cocaine.
Oh
God! I think the last time I did cocaine was in the 80s when it was ubiquitous.
Well, this was the 90s.
Yeah, well, close enough. But it was really ubiquitous in the 80s. It was ridiculous. My friend Denny Boudreau, he was, he actually sold cocaine. It's like you'll never find him. It's like doxing him. But he showed up at one New Year's Eve party at the Old Port Tavern in Portland, and it was like, Denny, maybe you shouldn't show up as someone who is generally known as selling tons of toot in a entirely sequined mirrored costume, including the top hat. Like, what the fuck, dude? It was really a great
If you're too obvious, no one will suspect you. If you're too obvious, no one will suspect you. It's true. Yeah, but see, here's the thing though. When I was doing the coke with my friends, I was in Orlando, Florida, in the early 90s. It was so prevalent there still. It was everywhere. Like this guy would go buy a fucking 8-ball, Steph, an 8-ball for like $60, $70. That's how cheap it was back then, and it was real fucking a 8-ball of cocaine. It was insane. Yeah, it was insane. And you can just get it anywhere. This one guy tried to rip us off.
Like I said, it was ubiquitous. It was all over the place. I knew a lot of people who really got ruined by the fucking stuff.
Where were you at in the 80s?
Here in Maine.
In Maine? Okay.
Yep.
I was just wondering because, man, down in Florida, it was just, God, I mean, it was just fucking it was like a joke, like, because like everybody was fucking high. Every guy that had like a high up position had a long fingernail on his pinky. Every fucking guy I ever saw down there. I swear to God. They were just snorting it with their fucking pinkies still. And their fucking Jags and Lambos and shit at lunch. It was crazy. I saw some of the most distinguished fucking people snorting some fucking lines, and I was like, guy came in here with like a suit, and he's over here going, I'm like, what the fuck?
Tapping the glass. It was a phrase at the time.
Tapping the glass.
I'm super glad I never got massively involved, shall we say?
Yeah, that's what I was telling them earlier. I just told them one day I didn't want to do it, and they all looked at me like I was nuts. Then they started acting weird with me. I was like, because I don't want to do coke with you. I'm still hanging out with you. You're drinking. I'm drinking. I'm smoking pot. I'm already hyper. I don't need cocaine.
I don't need.
You know, like,
I don't need.
fuck, I was bouncing off the walls
I'm
without it.
good. Thank you so much.
I mean, it actually didn't make me.
But-
I just felt kind of, I didn't really like it that much. I just kind of did it because it was there, and I was fucking clinically depressed, and I was trying to numb myself.
It is remarkably enjoyable. You know, it sort of gets you going a little bit.
Oh yeah, I'm sure if you're like in a good state of mind or whatever.
One.
Yeah.
What?
I've never done it in a good state of mind though.
No.
I was pretty fucked up. That was right after my mom died. I was fucked up. People were like, "You want to drink?" And I was like, "Sure." And they were like, "You want to do some coke?" And I was like, "Sure." You want to smoke?
Sure, why not?
Sure. I didn't
Hold on.
care. What kind of drugs you
I'm
got?
down with
Oh,
that.
needles? Nope. I don't do heroin. That's where I draw the line. Not injecting anything into my body with some needle that you came up with. I don't fucking know what you got. Don't want it, buddy. Yeah. Yeah, you know, some of us do, Mark. Some of us were just born with addictive personalities. It's just my brother Keel, he's got some addictive issues, but nobody else in my family really does. Like the only addictions any of us have ever had is cigarettes, and the only ones that are left smoking are me and Keel and Richard. And no one else smokes in the family anymore. So, you know, we're like the old school uncles hanging in there to our cigarettes. Well, I'm trying to quit.
No, nobody would ever.
I've just decided that some days I want to smoke and some days I don't.
Nobody would ever accuse me of having an addictive personality. In fact, most people flee. That's the way it works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna read this comment.
Oh, well.
I bet you that was
Well,
a fun
then.
night. I'm going to tell you in the early 2000s, 2004 and 2005, I did Molly's like 3 times. That is very interesting.
I don't even know what that is. What are Molly's?
What are Molly's?
Yeah, I actually want to know.
MDMA.
It is MDMA.
I'm an elder.
MDMA, ecstasy.
Oh yeah. Ecstasy.
Originally prescribed for to help people have sex in a relationship because the marriages weren't doing good, and then they were like, "Oh, this is a serious drug," and then they took it off the market, and people said, "We'll make it and sell it." And it will make you feel really good, and it will make you have the best sex you've ever had in your life. Because if someone just touches your arm, you're like, "Oh, I almost came." Like, I'm not kidding.
Really?
It is insane. The only time me and my ex-girlfriend ever had good sex was the 2 times we had sex when we were both doing Molly's. She finally turned me on all the way. But anybody would have, like a rock that touched me would have turned me on. So it didn't matter.
Have you ever done poppers? Amyl nitrate?
Oh God, no! I would never try anything like that.
Yeah, that shit is crazy.
Oh,
yeah, you're right, Titan. When we were kids, when we were young, you were probably a teenager.
Big thing in the gay scene in the 70s. Huge. It was like gay guys would just like amyl nitrate would be whoa, you know, it would just be this. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Oh, I know. I've seen Hannibal's movies.
It's funny. The thing about poppers, actually, I remember when streaming with Ben a couple times, where sometimes Ben will do a stream and he's playing that doctor diagnosis game.
Oh yeah, the medical diagnosis ER game.
God.
I love it. So
and one of them was a case where it was an older gay gentleman brought in, and basically he had poppers. And he was having a reaction. He was
all fucked up on poppers.
Yeah, he was fucked up on poppers. That was what it was.
Oh, you don't want to do too much of it. It's like lasts for.
Yeah, whatever. The thing that tripped me up though is when, because this is one of the ones where Ben stood aside and let the rest of us try and figure it out, and he'd help us direct us. So in doing our investigation, we basically came to the answer nearly immediately because the guy's husband was there, and so we asked him, like, was there anything he took? And they showed us this bottle which had this like weird label on it. And it was labeled as like nail polish remover, and I'm like, the fuck? Okay, what kind of toxicity situations does drinking nail polish remover have? And what I found out, yeah, I was thinking like acetone, like what? No, it wasn't that.
No.
What I found out after the fact was poppers are often labeled like that. Or I don't fucking know why. I mean, I think it said so. I don't really remember, but regardless, it was just like that was what because I have no knowledge of this kind of like I know a lot about decent amount about medicine, but I don't know anything about drug culture. I don't know shit about drug culture.
We're innocent.
Every little the only details I know about drug culture is anything that my sister taught me.
Oh,
so I know a little bit about K, and a few other things. But for the most part, like ketamine. But honestly, if it wasn't for that, when I hear K, I would think of the warfarin antidote. Vitamin K, like actual vitamin K.
Vitamin K, real K.
Yeah. Interesting thing about vitamin K as a warfarin antidote, you can't get oral vitamin K, or you can't get it in the right dose for the purposes of a warfarin antidote. There's nothing that's labeled for that. But what they do use, like what they use in the hospitals, is the injectable vitamin K. They open up the bottle and have the patient drink it orally because it is the desired concentration and dose.
Okay.
But it's just funny that in this context,
strong in that dose.
Yeah, but you need it. You need that dosing. But that's how it's indicated. I remember when my professor was teaching us about this, like very specific. Like it is the injectable one, and they drink it.
Really?
Look at this.
Head cleaner. Oh my god!
I was at a bar once, and they were passing poppers, and some kid didn't know, and he drank them.
Oh no, that's bad.
Oh no, I'm.
Oh well.
Yeah, now Molly's
I'm
are
not
MDMA,
sure- I'm
but
not
you're
sure.
right. Molly's used to be speed. It was because it was those fucking white pills. Not the same thing anymore.
Not the same thing.
And speed. What was speed exactly? Was that the
It's
amphetamine? Or?
Methamphetamine.
Yeah, it was like white crosses and shit like that.
White
was speed.
crosses and black beauties. That was another.
Black beauties. That's the other
Black
one.
beauties. That was the mother's little helper, the famous Rolling Stones song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can handle your children and keep up with
Yeah.
them. Get
My
serious
question
with
was more
speed.
like, what chemical were we talking about? And we're talking about
Methamphetamine.
amphetamine.
Yeah, all methamphetamine. Yeah.
Amphetamine.
Okay.
Amphetamine.
So
And it's funny because even when I was in in 2001, I was working in a convenience store. I was the manager of it, and it was a gas station convenience store. And oh fuck, I hate it when I do that. Oh, we still had those fucking little goddamn speed pills in there, and I was like, people still sell this shit? It looked just like White Crosses. It looked exactly like it. But it was labeled with a bunch of caffeine. I'm like, that ain't fucking caffeine. I know what those are. I took a couple of those in high school, and I was like, whoa! I mean, I was already hyper. I did not need that shit. I don't know whose idea was it to give that to me.
It's interesting that had that effect on you, because my understanding is like this is why we give amphetamines to kids with like specific amphetamines, mind you.
But they told me it was a White Cross. Might not have been.
Yeah, it may not have actually been.
I don't know what it was.
Like, have you never had speed on a regular basis? It was just like a one-off thing for you, right?
God, no. Yeah.
Okay.
twice in my life, about a year apart. One time.
Is for persons who, because I know you have ADHD. For persons with ADHD, actual amphetamines, generally speaking, are used as a treatment for them. Like,
and I
made
know
a
that
joke
because
earlier that
I have amphetamine, a bottle of them, sitting in the back of my truck. I could sell for $20 a pill. That I was like, fuck this shit, because it was fucking up shit with my girlfriend. I threw it in the back seat and never touched it again. But anyways, it was kind of like the guy throwing it in the river, except I didn't have a river, and I knew if I threw it out the window, some fucking homeless guy was going to get a hold of it and kill himself. So it's still sitting in my back seat because I'm afraid to throw it out. They just do trash.
Just take it to your local pharmacy to have them.
I know, but I don't go in pharmacies. I avoid them like a fucking plague if I can. I used to work in them, remember? I don't want to be in them.
Well, don't go to a chain. Go to an independent or something. Well, I know that doesn't change the problem.
That actually, I could go to Del Norte Pharmacy. They're really, really nice people there, and I know exactly where their boxes for all the drugs and shit. Yeah, I should take them there. Well, that's where I got them at, anyways.
Yeah. Well, I mean, generally, the general policy is if it's a matter of disposal of prescription medications, you usually should be taking it to the pharmacy that you got them from in the first place. Like, that's not exclusively necessary. If you've moved, you can't see the old one, whatever. But it's just like,
right.
It's like they're the ones who gave it to you. They're the ones who are responsible for it. So you can give it back to them so they can dispose of it for you.
In the crazy world of the United States, you go where it's the cheapest. It's like you figure out what your scripts are and you figure out what's the best deal.
Yeah,
that's weird.
I know. When I learned about how that works, I'm just like, when people are getting medicine, they can't be putting energy into trying to figure out which pharmacy is going to be the most inexpensive for them. That is not the time to be having to make that kind of call. You should be able to go to any pharmacy and get it for, if not exactly the same price, about the same price.
Yeah, well, it ain't it don't work that way, do you? Down here.
I mean, it doesn't. You don't even need a universal healthcare system for that.
To the tune of $50. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, you don't even need universal healthcare. You just need proper fucking regulation. It's all just regulate.
Holy
prices.
Shit, Jer! If they did that now, they would be fucking arrested. That is insane. And let me just say, Mark Caesar, if those drug addicts can find me way outside of town in the middle of the cacti, good luck to them. Good luck to them.
True.
They're more likely to just go rob a pharmacy.
Not to mention that if they did,
give them your location.
Not to mention though, if they did come to the property I live on, they wouldn't come to my little trailer because it's sitting here in amongst a bunch of weeds, looking like there's tools in it or something. So good luck finding me. Literally, I'm incognito, bro.
There you go.
Yeah,
incognito.
But yeah, they're honestly more likely to just go keep robbing pharmacies like these assholes have been doing so much. Like pharmacy robberies, I don't know if it's elsewhere, but at least where I'm at, have been skyrocketing so often. Like we were hit a couple about a week and a half ago again.
Okay. I blame COVID because all these people quit working and they start doing a bunch of drugs and shit. That's what I think. Because none of them want to go back to work. Everywhere, everyone is hiring right now. There's job galore everywhere because nobody wants to fucking work anymore. Ever since COVID.
Bullshit.
Yeah,
people do want to work. People.
Yeah, they're already working, Stephanie. That's the problem.
No,
the ones that want to work are already working. We need more. We need more people.
Well,
there's not enough truck drivers. There's not enough people working for the train systems. There's not enough retail clerks. There's not enough nurses. Let's just say medical in general. All the medical needs more help. Every fucking department. It's just everywhere right now. My boss is offering more money than most of the area I work in pays for someone who does not have a degree. She literally is one of the top payers in the whole fucking county, and she can't find anybody to work for her. All she needs is either driving or warehouse experience. She has talked to 30 fucking people. 20 of them she offered a job. You know what happened? They never showed up for it. She pays so fucking good. They never showed up. But if you go to an interview and you got that proof you went to an interview, you can get some more fucking unemployment. That's what I think they're doing to her. Coming in left and right. They do an interview. She's like, great, let's talk, come in on Monday. We'll show you around. They never show up.
And yet at the same time, the employment rate is really kind of good right now.
I know, and it's weird. I don't even know what's going on right now.
I think
I don't know
some
who's
sectors are
dropping
being
out of the work, unless it's maybe immigrants that are afraid to get caught and they're hiding right now because
don't think
we're in
so.
such a bad place. I don't know. I don't know.
There's probably a number of things, and I'm only going to guess right now that it's probably part. Certain sectors are being disproportionately affected. So the general employment rate is high, but the employment rate in particular sectors might be low. I don't know. I haven't looked at those stats. It's just one of my hypotheses.
Whoa.
The other, what was the other thing? What if pharmacy asked what's supposed to be? They said, what? Whoa, hold on.
No,
What?
No, that's not good, Titan. That's
what TU said.
Yeah.
When my stepfather died, we called his pharmacy, asked what disposal of his medications. They said to just flush them.
That's not good.
That hurts to hear.
I don't doubt that, Titan. Honestly, I hadn't thought about it that angle, and you're probably right, because so many people were not working, and when people started going back to work and saying, "I better get a job now before they're gone," they took the jobs that were good. Absolutely, I can agree with that.
Yeah,
that sounds 100% dead on logical.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, so it's places that either won't or can't pay them well or treat them with respect. And this is, in this case, it's industry. So even if an individual workplace within a given industry is itself good, because of the fact that the industry itself has been bad, people don't trust it. So I think that that would be my hypothesis for what's specifically happening with your prospect, is perhaps the industry that you're in is not particularly good. So even if your workplace is good, people expect it not to be good. But yeah, there
is literally a driver shortage all over the fucking place right now.
Well,
Yeah.
but
when I went to
huge,
here, let me give you a for instance. I went to LA 2 months ago. No, it was longer than that. I've been there 3 months now. 2.5, almost 3, about 2.5 months ago. I went to LA on a trip to take a bunch of art over there. And the closer we got to LA, the more trains that were sitting on the tracks, because the depots were full, because there was no truck drivers to take the fucking containers out of there. And I'm going to tell you, on the way back out, I checked it. And the end of the last train I saw was like 92 or 94 miles from fucking LA. They were lined up waiting to get to LA, 90 miles outside of it.
I wonder if that has something to do with how many people are independents. I mean, the trucking industry is very weird.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, absolutely. But a lot of the owner operators are leased to companies. They don't have their own businesses. Yeah. But there are a good handful of people like container drivers that own their own trucks and have their own fucking business. And all they do is go pick up containers and move them around.
Yeah.
They go into the rail yards and they grab them and they get rid of them as fast as they can and go back and get another one.
Yep.
By the way, before we keep going on this, I want to continue to address Titan Uranus's comment here that we have highlighted.
That is not how it works anymore. That's why I left it up there. Go ahead, Sabrina.
Yeah. Well, interestingly, I think it might actually still kind of work like that, at least in very specific.
They burn them.
Well, no. I mean, I know how we are supposed to destroy medications when we destroy on site. But for medication disposal, what we have at my pharmacy and what I had at the previous pharmacies that I've worked at, which is more convenient for cities, you'll figure out why in a second, is we get these special bins from a company. In our case, it's called Stericycle, and we will throw basically any either spoiled medications that we have or any post consumer stuff that we've
Right.
received as returns. We'll put in all this bin, and then once it's full, we'll seal it up. And Stericycle comes once periodically,
Yep.
maybe once a month or something like that.
Stericycle burns that shit.
Yeah, and I figured that they probably burn it, or there's a number of different ways to. There's a few different legal ways to take care of medication disposal.
You could throw a chemical. You could throw it in a vat of chemicals so it just dissolves and
Yeah.
it's nothing left. You could burn it. You could. I mean, there's different
I
ways.
don't know if they burn it here. I
Flushing
don't
it-
know if we're allowed to burn it, but regardless,
Flushing
like basically
Probably not the best
what
thing.
we as the pharmacy does what the pharmacy does is we have a third party take care of it. Basically,
Right.
here's an interesting caveat: we pay for this service.
Yep.
We pay for this service. That's interesting. So this is something that's completely free to our patients, of course. We're not going to have patients pay money to us to take their old drugs back, because otherwise they're not going to bring their drugs back to us. They'll just flush them. But we have to pay for it. Now, think of most pharmacy chains are going to pay for it because corporations are going to be more scrutinized. Corporate pharmacies are going to get more scrutinized. But I can imagine an independent pharmacy not wanting to pay that. And so what they would potentially might do would be flushing it. Which I don't
that
like.
was my other question to Titan. Are you talking about like a Walgreens and CVS, or are you talking about mom and pop? Now, mom and pop, maybe. If it's a CVS or Walgreens, they just told you that they don't know what they're talking about. That's bullshit.
Not necessarily.
They have certain containers they put it in. The fucking guys, the disposal guys come and grab the bins. They grab all the shredded paper, like at the doctor's offices. I've seen them 500 places from where all the different places I've worked. And they go and dispose of it. They throw the paper into some kind of thing that like compacts it or whatever, and then they take it over and I think as far as I know, they burn it because they're not allowed to. Nobody's allowed to see what the contents are.
I don't know.
But yeah, no, I think if that was a big pharmacy Titan, they just blew you off, bro.
Yeah, and that's probably. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I don't know. They could just flush it. I don't know, but not really.
But then you get this right here.
There
you put a bunch of drugs in the water.
Yeah.
Which is why the regulation is there. It's like, hey, no, you don't want to just flush it down the toilet because it gets into the water supply. That's not good.
That's why I know places like Stericycle don't do it. They can't. The fucking not FDA. The EPA is way too fucking tight in the United States. They would never, ever, ever allow that.
Yeah, there's similar thing with us. There's very specific regulations on exactly what kind of procedures we are allowed to use for disposal and destruction of medications. By the way,
I mean,
Stericycle is only, generally speaking, it's only for our post-consumer stuff. We also just happen to use it, like if we happen to drop a pill on the ground, we don't want to give that to a patient, so we'll throw that in this, like it takes up no space whatsoever.
No,
but generally speaking, it's for that. If in a different case where we have our own stock of medicine, now normally if our own stock of medication expires, there's methods we can have to return it to the company and get a partial credit at the manufacturer, and get a partial credit for it. Depends on the manufacturer. Pfizer can go fuck themselves because anyway, I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'm a bit...
You know how cray everybody got about fluoridation in the water, and now people are cray about, when people are flushing these things. The reason there are so many homosexuals in the United States right now are because the corporations are dumping chemicals into the water that cause people to turn gay.
Some people just think, some people of the same persuasion think those genitals are attractive. That's all it is, god damn it. Just leave it alone, you dumb fucks. You know what I always say, Stephanie? If you don't like gay people, don't date one. Don't marry one either. That's all you have to do.
That would
It
be-
doesn't affect you in any other fucking way. None. None.
Personally, I'm very afraid of the homosexuals.
Shut up. Steve. You do a great impression, though. I gotta give you. I'm sitting here with my look at me. Hold on. Sitting here with my pills in my hand. I'm going. Did I take these yet?
I don't know.
I don't feel like I did.
ADHD
I remember
is a
taking them
bitch.
last night. Did I take them
I
tonight?
finally actually broke down and got a pill sorter.
I think I'm gonna go with my gut because I don't remember taking them. Because I always go over to my bag and I pull the blister pack out of the allergy medicine out of my little toiletry bag that I take on the road with me, and I pop one out on the counter out of the blister pack. And I don't remember doing that, so I think I'm gonna take them.
I'd go for it.
Flushing meds made the frogs gay. Oh fuck.
Yep.
Oh, fucking hell. Oh, by the way, Jones is getting really fucked.
And if I did take them, then I'm gonna have a really bad morning. I'm probably not gonna wake up right away.
Don't have a bad morning. I'm hoping for you to have a good morning. Good morning.
Yeah.
I'll be like, "What's up, motherfuckers? I took 4 Lexapro last night instead of 2. I'm in such a mood right now.
Oh,
I
okay.
am now tired. I'm going to go to sleep because I've used all my happiness up in 1 hour."
Good old Lexapro. Or
I
Super
fucking
Lex,
love
as we
my
call it
Lexapro.
up here.
And I
That
hate
with
it.
the Wellbutrin, man, Lexapro wasn't enough. But when Heather put that, well, because I called her and I just started crying, I said, "Babe, you got to help me." And she's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I can't fucking. I'm gonna either drive off a cliff or I need better medication. Put me on something better." She's like, "No. I'm not taking you off Lexapro. We just need to add to it." And I'm like, "What do you want to add to it?" She's like, "Wellbutrin." And I said, "Oh, well, I know her son takes that. She would never give that to her son. Well, she wouldn't give it to anybody if it was going to hurt him. But, and I trust her 100% anyways. But I was like, "Oh, okay, fine, do it. Like now, send it in." She's like, "As soon as I get a chance." So the next day I was like, "Did you send that in?" She's like, "Yeah, I did." And I'm like, "Fucking Walgreens. God damn it." So I had her send it in like 3 more times and they finally got it. Because the fucking pharmacists at Walgreens and CS, they just kick out the prescriptions they don't want to deal with. Just delete them. I don't even know how they do it. Just get rid of them. You'll get a text and it says, your prescription's arrived. We're working on filling it now for you. Oh, great. So about 4 hours, 5, 6 hours later, you give them plenty of time. You go down there, we don't have
my way. Well, send me. Hey, you're due for a refill on shit that I know is not. I can't refill it there because the fucking prescription's expired. It's like, no, it's not.
See what I'm saying? Walgreens is a fucking mess. I hate them, but you know why I use them? Because I pay them $37 for the year, and my Lexapro, instead of being $176, I pay like $28.
Right.
That's why I go to Walgreens.
Right. What? 100 and what?
$126 for 3 months.
Oh,
or no?
Do you have any
Are you getting the brand name or the generic?
$176.
Do you have any idea how much estradiol costs?
That's the generic, buddy.
Yeah.
My friend. That's the fucking generic. That's escitalopram.
90 days of progesterone is like list price in the United States is like $300.
You know what's funny though?
Testosterone
is cheap
similar.
as
I mean,
fuck.
It's not that far off.
Testosterone is cheap as fuck. Estrogen is expensive as fuck.
Yes, it is.
Now, why do you think that is? Anybody want to take a guess? Okay, we all know. We all know.
I'm not going to assume
I'm
that.
going to be real about this. Gyms, maybe?
Yeah. Jim's or John's or Frank's.
Yeah. No.
All the
gyms.
guys that are between my age and Stephanie's that can't get it up anymore. Like this one guy kept bugging Heather and he was like, "Oh, no, I need my medication. Tell her you didn't get filled yet. I need my medication." And I was like, "Heather, you missed this guy's medication." She's like, "What is it?" I'm like, "I don't know. He said you'd know." And she's like, "Who is it?" So I told her and she goes, "That motherfucker. He's calling and freaking out because he can't get his dick hard. And he's like 50 something and he's dating like a 28-year-old guy. And he's trying to keep his fucking stature up of being the top."
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
Make an
call
app
like yelling, and
at the
she didn't
order.
fill my prescription. That's bullshit. I need that. She knows I need it. And I'm like, Heather, babe, you missed somebody's prescription. She's like, oh, fuck him. It's goddamn testosterone. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Acted like it was blood pressure, like heart attack medicine or fucking, you know, something for a stroke or some shit. Just fucking testosterone to make the dick hard.
Well,
It's-
you know,
it's
Exactly,
interesting
on Jur.
in
That's
the
exactly.
in the grand history of transness, Magnus Hirschfeld, the godfather of transsexual research, was all about, you know, testosterone supplements. You know, as was Harry Benjamin. It's rather interesting to me that, you know, these guys were just sort of like all about. Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right, Enter.
She typed that while we were just sitting here going, who? Why? She already had it typed out.
I mean,
You-
it's
you
really
know,
funny.
Her,
It's
her and
really
Titans
funny
both.
the way that it works. It's really funny the way trans history works. It's very, very weird.
You know, I'm not sure how much testosterone is without some kind
120
of
for 100
discount.
sounds about right to me.
It is probably about right. I go through Folks for anybody who wants a virtual trans care and doesn't want to deal with fucking doctors, and you want to talk to like trans providers or gay. They're all either gay or trans. It's amazing. It's called Folks, FOLX, and they are in almost every state now. I think they're up to like 30 some odd states or something. They're getting certified for each one, and they specifically do HRT. And you can also talk to them as a regular provider as well about like, you know, your medicine, whatever you don't need to
For
be seen in
now.
person for. So I pay them $139 a month, and they pay for all the labs. I get free doctor's visits, and my testosterone comes in. Oh, I got a cat on my lap. Comes in this really cool box, and it's got
Comes
like
Cat on your lap, which is
I want to show you guys. It's a pretty cool box. So, but it has like gauze pads and band-aids and alcohol prep pads and all the syringes and the draw needle and the injection, and it's all like little compartments. It's pretty cool. So I just take everything out as I need it, wrap a rubber band around it, and take it with me when I go over the road. Oh, you have Klinefelter syndrome. Yeah. Yep. Gotta have tea.
Mm. It's interesting hearing you guys talk about this because like about these cost differences. Because
I do mine. I inject mine, Titan.
yeah,
I do. I do intermuscular.
yeah.
I've been a patch girl for years, so it's
Oh, you're patchy.
Yeah, I'm a patchy.
Yeah. Well, you know, when you first start,
Works for me.
and like purple rhymes with orange. Purple started out with patches, and they were like, "I don't see any." I'm like, "Cause you're on patches, honey."
Takes
And
a while.
patches absorb differently for different people. Some
Yeah.
people don't absorb them as well. Some people
they-
absorb them just fine.
And
And
some
when you're first starting out, it takes a long time to build it up in your system. So you want to start out with injectables, and then when you get balanced out and you're good and you're in that happy range, you can switch over to patches after that. But you wanting to get it going, patches and gel take forever. God, they take forever.
They didn't
You don't have to start with injectable though. Like
Shut up,
it's
Steve.
entirely valid to start at.
You absorb well though. That's all it is.
I do.
Well,
I mean,
Yeah, and purple does not.
And it's also depends on, you know, it depends on your skin. It's like, do they stick?
Right.
You
Right.
know, a lot
gonna
of people's complaint is, oh, the fucking things fall off all the time. It's like, what the hell's this? It's like, well, yeah, I can understand that if you've got a whole bunch of body hair, I guess that would be a problem. But I never did, so it was never a problem. So it was all
Right.
that.
Yeah, that's true. I was gonna say, just shave that little spot.
Everybody's little thing is entirely different, you know.
Yeah.
Speaking of things being different, I've been trying to jump in with this for a while. But you guys kept just going.
Yeah,
Is
go ahead.
when you first started, like I was showing a confused face because you were talking about cost of like tea being super cheap and everything like that. And everything you guys were saying was completely foreign to me. It didn't make any sense. And I'm just double checking my costs here. And no, HRT between men and women is about the same here. In fact, in certain areas,
Is
it's
it
more.
there?
T is well. Here's the thing. I'm looking at costs here, approximate costs. Now, injectable T is pretty cheap. We're looking an average for 4-week costs, depending upon the dose you need to get, between like $15 to $30 every 4 weeks. Versus for, again, we're talking about injectables specifically. For estrogen, we're looking $36 to $46. But for a lot of the other things, like for instance, oral estrogen, there is no oral. I mean, there's oral testosterone, but it's not good for
Doesn't
HRT.
work.
No, NA,
Doesn't work for
NA,
HRT.
no, estrogen patches. I was talking
Yeah.
about estrogen patches, not
Right.
T patches.
Yeah, but like oral estrogen here is pretty good. Like starting price, depending on like again what your dose is, like $18 to $50 maybe per 4 weeks, and that one can get covered by government coverage. The patches is where the interesting price discrepancy is, because patches for estrogen here, again, for dose dependent, we're looking $40 to $75 for 4 weeks. That's for estrogen. For the patches for testosterone, we're starting at $80, going up to $320.
See, that's
4
because
weeks.
you don't have rich white men in charge of your fucking country, my friend.
I guess we do. Yes, we do.
I'm just being it. Not the right ones. Not the right ones. We have Christians over here running our country, by God. They have to have a heart on. Those men need to have that heart on. It's very important. Even though it doesn't say it in the Bible, it's very important.
As much as I love the narrative of the United States being exceptionally shitty in certain areas, unfortunately, it is not. Canada definitely has its share of shit here too.
Oh, I know you do. Yeah, I know.
And
I always just joke around that you guys are better all the time.
Yeah,
I think that by I think that by A, effectiveness, and B, delivery. There are studies that show that injectable.
Oh my God, you guys! I gotta go to bed.
Injectable, like estradiol valerate, is far more effective than either patches or, well, it's probably the least effective of the 3 methods of delivery. So
which is the least effective? The least effective?
Patches.
Patches is the least effective.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that. That it was the least. I would have assumed, I guess, without looking into it, that oral would be considered.
The advantage of patches to me was by the not going through the double bypass and the double pass. No liver processing.
Mark, give me a second. I'll get you a price on that.
But it's whatever. I mean, we're getting deep into the weeds here and trans stuff. Like, anyway, Becky, you want to shut this down anytime?
Okay. Sweet. Well, let's all go to bed then. At the same time together, but in different places.
Good night.
Before you shut it down, I just want to answer
Sabrina.
Mark's question.
Go do
So the cost per unit, and I don't know if this would include the pharmacy professional cost or not, but the cost per unit for what's usually a box of 2 bottles for the androgel is about $200. We're just shy of, like, it's 175 listed here. So if there's any fees added on, let's say maybe 190. So I'm just gonna round to $200 just for sake of comparison. So it's not that cheap, unfortunately.
No, none of it.
No cuddle puddle answer.
No, yeah.
All right.
anyway,
well,
good night.
Let
Night,
me tell
everyone.
everybody in the chat, thank you so much for hanging out. You guys are great, and I love fucking seeing you guys again and getting the good conversations and laughs and shit in. And Sabrina, thanks for being amazing and being by my side working through the last couple days of shit. So I appreciate you for that. You're wonderfully patient compared to me. Stephanie, I love you to death. And everybody, just remember, take care of yourselves. Take care of one another.